सभी ग्राहकों को उनकी जमा राशि के तुरंत और पूरा भुगतान सुनिश्चित किया जाए। दूसरा, आरबीआई की स्वीकृति को जांच की जाए और भविष्य में ऐसा मामला न बचने के लिए ठोस नीति बनाए। तीसरा, यूनिटी बैंक को वसूली गई राशि का उपयोग ग्राहकों को राहत प्रदान करना चाहिए, न कि मुनाफा कमाने के लिए। चौथा, एनसीएलटी जैसे संस्थाओं के माध्यम से मामलों का तेजी से निपटवारा करना चाहिए। अध्यक्ष महोदय, सभापति महोदय, माननीय मंत्री महोदय, स्थिति के केवल जमाकर्ताओं के साथ अन्याय है, बल्कि हमारे बैंकिंग प्रणाली की विश्वासता पर भी सवाल खड़े रहते हैं। मेरा लास्ट है, बैंकिंग कानून संशोधन 2024 हमारी बैंकिंग क्षेत्र अधिक सशक्त, पारदर्शिता, उदारतादायी बनाने की दिशा में एक दूरदर्शी कदम है। ये विधेयक न केवल हमारे बैंकिंग तंत्र को आधुनिक बनाए, बल्कि ग्राहकों, निवेशकों और बैंकों के लिए सुरक्षित वातावरण निर्माण करेगा। इस विधेयक का पूर्ण समर्थन करता हूं और आग्रह करता हूं कि मेरे द्वारा किए गए सुझावों पर भी विचार किया जाए। साथ में पीएमसी ग्राम ग्राहकों के शीघ्र न्याय की मांग करता हूं। फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर, इसके बारे में आप अपने भाषण में उत्तर देंगे और उनका जो न्याय मिलेगा इसकी मैं आपके माध्यम से रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं।
सर, थैंक यू सर।
प्लीज।
Thank you, sir. The banks have a vital role in the nation's growth and development. They offer capital and financial services to industry, small business, and individuals, enabling them to thrive, sir. The Banking Laws Amendment Bill 2024 was introduced on August this year, and the bill aims to bring about better governance, standardized definition of terms, standardized reports, greater autonomy to cooperatives, and protect the depositors. These are all part of the much-needed reforms in the banking industry, sir, and I feel all parties should support the bill, and so I'm glad to see some of the opposition party members also supporting this bill in the interest of the nation. However, sir, some members have reservations. One of the members from Congress seems to be opposing on certain grounds. In fact, there's no consistency. There's opposition among themselves, sir. The member from Congress was saying he's not here, so I'm not taking his name, that this bill is an attack on the very federal system and the federal structure of this country, because it goes into the cooperative banks, which is a state subject. But yet another member, honorable member, I think Saugat Rai from Trinamool Congress, says this is superfluous, and these are very simple, and these could have been amendments that have been done through administrative decision, sir. So two sides of the opposition are opposing one another, sir. See, the honorable member from Congress who feels that the federal structure is threatened should know that if anything, any bill was against the federal structure, it is the 97th Amendment of the Cooperative that the Congress government brought in 2011, sir. And while the entire bill was not struck down by the Supreme Court, those aspects of the bill which actually infringed upon the state authority, the Supreme Court struck it down in July 20th, sir. So if anything is against the federal structure, it is a Congress bill. Federalism khatre mein hai, that is because of Congress UPA bill, sir. But lekin आरोप हमारे पास है that we threaten the federal structure, sir. Some feel, sir, that 5 legislation through one bill is too much, but imagine 19 amendments through 19 bills. It'll take several years to pass in this house full of disruption, thanks to the opposition, sir. Also, they have forgotten that in 2013, the NDA government amended it's a nice bill, sir, it's a right to fair compensation and transparency in the Land Acquisition Act of 2013. This amendment also amended several bills, including National Highways Act and Railways Act, showcasing the pattern of and the comprehensive legislation aimed to address a critical issue, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. You are a lawyer. We'll discuss this. Sir, our government recognize the need for reforms in the banking sector after the previous Congress government left the banks in doldrums with humongous NPAs, leaving many banks on the verge of collapse, sir. So, honorable member Gaurav Gogai ji talked about the chronology, sir. So give me a minute to talk about the chronology, sir. We heard the history of banking industry from 1969, where the banks were suddenly nationalized overnight. Suddenly nationalized overnight. It doesn't matter who opposed. From the sudden nationalization, let's discuss. It happened. Whether it's good or bad can be discussed later, but it happened. One more thing, sir. I respect the sentiment and the sensitivity of my colleagues from Congress party, so I will not take the names. But the scam that happened right here, sir, on the Parliament Street branch, now the Sansad branch, I will not take names, but at least let's see what we can learn from it. Somebody called and 60 lakhs was transferred. What we can learn from it is there was lack of good governance, there was no checks and balances, and the bankers feared their political bosses, sir. So instead of what we needed was regulation, not merely nationalization and political influence, sir. But after that, to the abyss of the 90s, where the entire nation was on the verge of bankruptcy and due to political influence and lack of checks and balance. In 1991, India faced the worst economic crisis on the brink of sovereign default. India's foreign exchanges for less than $6 billion, enough to meet 2 meals of country's imports, sir. The Congress government those days made the word Hindu very, very popular all across the world, sir. They made the word Hindu very popular. They referred to the Hindu growth of rate. The Hindu growth of rate was referring to the abysmally slow rate of economic growth in India, and the banking and global economists, this was a popular term to refer to India. Everybody looked down upon India, sir. But 2 or 3% negative growth rate during your UPA times. There were 2 years negative growth rate. And
please address the chair.
And now our nation under Prime Minister Modi ji leadership is looked upon for the highest growth rate among the large and economies around the globe, sir. Pledging gold to shore up forest research. We have seen all this, sir. But Honorable Member Gaurav Gogaji also referred to devaluation, sir, of the Indian rupees. Sir, during that time, in 1 week, 2 times devaluation, total more than 21% devaluation, sir. Economy is stable. The rupee is stabler than any currency in the world today, sir. Sir, it was, I'm proud to say it was P.V. Narasimha Rao, sir, the then Congress Prime Minister. He's from my state. He steered the country to the mess and brought major reforms against nationalization and against the nationalization policy, got in liberalization and privatization. But this is where it is a directionless, sir. Once they say nationalization, once they say liberalization, and now again they oppose many contemporary economic policies, sir. It's the inconsistency and the lack of direction was the hallmark of the UPA governments, and this led to the tumultuous situation in the bank. But even after the reforms of the 90s, things were not so well, sir. Sir, we remember, we all actually appreciated, regardless of which party, there was huge growth rate, sir, in the subsequent UPA government, but actually what was hidden was all the NPAs amounting to lakhs of crores, sir. They were unrecoverable loans hidden under different classification of NPAs. Sir, Kalyan Banerjee had just mentioned that jugglery of words, sir. The jugglery of words and terminology was done during Congress government, sir. They were unrecoverable loans hidden under different classification of NPAs, sir. And everybody knew it. The bankers knew it, and the officials knew it, and of course the ministry knew it. But nobody had the courage to tell that the banks were totally bankrupt, sir. It's like the story, the emperor's new clothes, sir. Nobody had the courage to say the emperor is totally naked and the banks are totally bankrupt. It is after the Modi government, we recognized this problem, we pointed it out. And why was this problem, sir? It was due to stressed asset, including aggressive lending practices, willful defaults, loan frauds, corruption, and also one valid reason, economic slowdown. But under the UPA governments, the bank were heavily influenced by political interests and they extended loans to borrowers who had little intention of paying back, sir. So in those days, I think my colleague was referring to our phone banking. If you wanted a loan, you don't run to the bank or the bank manager. You run to the MLA or MP or the minister to get a loan, sir. After the NDA took office, Modi ji government recognized the problem and introduced a bill, sir, called FRDI, Financial Resolution and Deposit Insurance. There was a little opposition, so they sent it to a select committee. I was on that committee, sir. And on this committee, we were shocked to find the so-called growing economy had so many skeletons hidden in the various reports. They know. This is the banking. This is about banking.
Okay, please address the chair.
Yeah.
Honourable member, please address the chair.
It is then
Try to confine yourself within the scope of the bill, please.
Yes, sir. 94. Only banking. I'm not talking about taxation, GST, Adani, all those. I'm talking only about banking, sir.
No politics.
No politics.
Yes.
Only banking. So FRDA is banking, sir. The bill was later withdrawn because of many irrational as well as some rational reasons, sir. And because although we had a majority, we wanted to build consensus, sir. But nevertheless, the arop on us is we have a brute majority and we force it through, sir. The bill, FRDI bill, was well-meaning bill and we withdrew it, but ended up with a series of reforms which transformed the banking sector. Today, the banks have not only turned around but thriving. PSU bank share prices increased 200 to 300%. The market capitalization of SBI, those days if a small investor wanted to invest, he would invest in Wipro or TCS or Infosys. But now, if you invest in these, they doubled and tripled their money in just 2 years, 200, 300% return. And not only that, the McKinsey report praises us. There are many key legal procedures, sir, and I will not go through it because many speakers have already gone through it. But India's infrastructure requirement funds is about 1/10 of the GDP, and it is estimated to need about 1.43 lakh crores. And India depends on our banking sector to be healthy and thriving. It is miraculous about the turnaround, sir. It is really miraculous, and nobody believed in 2014 this would happen. So there's also, many are talking about what about the poorer sections, what about the depressed sections. Sir, lot of us completed a Disha meeting, sir. That's our responsibility in our constituency. In the Disha meeting, we have a meeting with the lead bankers, sir. And we were shocked to find, if you compare to the 2014 to now, in fact, in my district, sir, it is unbelievable. The bankers' target is 50,000 crores, sir. Of course, they have not met, but still it is almost 300 to 400 times what it was in 2014, sir. And they are yet to meet the target. But even whatever this thing, they have amended that, sir.
Please conclude.
So I will conclude, sir. But before I conclude, I'll just convey 2 points, sir. We are talking about middle class and household. Yes, the household disposable income to meet the debt obligation is among the lowest in the world at 6.7%, sir. Yes, there's one more allegation that of recent the investments or deposits in the banks have reduced. And that's because there are great opportunities for investment this vibrant economy under Modi ji has created. There are SIPs, systematic investment plans, mutual funds, and instead of putting a deposit in State Bank of India, if you buy your State Bank of India shares, you'll make much more profit. And there are various avenues for investments that we have seen, sir. But before I go, just last 2 points, sir. If you went to a village 10 years ago, in 2014, there used to be 10 motorcycles. If you go today in the same village, there are 300 to 400 motorcycles. There were 10 to 20 bank account holders. Now there are 400 bank account holders, sir. And this is the Antodai. And
please conclude.
I'll conclude, sir. I have 20 minutes, but I'll conclude.
One more speaker has to speak.
Yeah, I'll just conclude. Please. Just 2 minutes, sir. And so it is the Antodai we are following, sir. And honourable member from Hyderabad asked a question in Parliament, a start question, about where the Mudra loans are going. And what's happening, the maximum, I think 300% growth in the loans to the depressed classes, sir. The Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana with bank accounts opening, Mudra Yojana, Stand Up India, Atmanirbhar, street vendors program, Vishwakarma Yojana, all these have really gone, sir. But one thing, sir, I would conclude with one thing. It was policies were directionless, but this government has a direction. But just a direction is not enough, sir. We need a vector. Vector has both a direction and a magnitude. Even if you're going in the right direction, if you don't have the magnitude, you'll fall short, sir. This government, the vector, it has the magnitude and direction, and the trajectory is Viksit Bharat 2047, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Sri Arun Bhardi.
धन्यवाद उप सभापति महोदय, आपने मुझे बोलने का मौका दिया। मैं बैंकिंग लॉज अमेंडमेंट बिल 2024 के अपनी पार्टी की तरफ से लोक जनशक्ति पार्टी रामविलास और अपने राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष चिराग पासवान जी से इस बिल के समर्थन में खड़ा हुआ हूं। मैं वित्त मंत्री और प्रधानमंत्री जी का भी अभिनंदन करना चाहूंगा इस बिल के लिए। हमारी पार्टी की तरफ से कुछ सुझाव, 5 सुझाव है जो मैं सदन में रखना चाहूंगा और मैं चाहूंगा कि इस पे विचार हो। सबसे पहला है जो मैं विचार आपको दे रहा हूं सर, ये छोटे जो बैंकर्स, जो बैंकिंग कस्टमर्स हैं उनके लिए है, मार्जिनलाइज्ड लोगों के लिए है। सर मेरा पहला सुझाव है कि मिनिमम बैलेंस चार्जेस जो 250 रुपए से लेकर के लगभग 2500 रुपए तक प्राइवेट बैंक से लेकर के सरकारी बैंकों में लगते हैं, उसके बारे में सोचा जाए, क्योंकि एक बड़ी आबादी है जो इतनी बड़े चार्जेस को, पिनल चार्जेस को सहन नहीं कर सकती है। और ऐसे में उनकी, मान लीजिए अगर वो मंथली बैलेंस या क्वार्टरली बैलेंस अगर मेंटेन नहीं कर पाते हैं तो उनकी सेवाओं में कमी की जाए, ये पिनल चार्जेस उनसे नहीं लिया जाए। सर मैं बिहार से आता हूं और बिहार के परिप्रेक्ष्य में मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा कि वहां पे जो बैंक में डिपॉजिट किए जाते हैं रिटेल बैंकर्स, ये रिटेल कस्टमर्स के द्वारा जो भी बिहार में डिपॉजिट्स कलेक्ट की जाती हैं, उसका लगभग 70% हिस्सा बिहार से बाहर कर्ज के रूप में दिया जाता है। आपको पता है सर, बिहार एक पिछड़ा राज्य है, लेकिन उसके बाद भी अगर हमारा 60-70% बाहर कर्ज के रूप में दिया जाएगा तो बिहार जो एक पिछड़ा राज्य है, वहां पे रोजगार और शिक्षा के लिए जो लोन की जरूरत है कैसे पूरी हो पाएगी, और इसी कारण से लोन हमेशा महंगे होते हैं। इसी पर मैं तीसरे सुझाव पर आता हूं कि जो वहां एजुकेशन लोन है इसको सस्ता करने के बारे में सोचा जाए, इसमें जो इंटरेस्ट लगता है उसको सस्ता करने के बारे में सोचा जाए, इसको कोलैटरल फ्री किया जाए CGE SSC या CGT SME के द्वारा, या फिर इसमें जो इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट है उसको सबवेंशन या फिर सब्सिडी के रूप में इसको देने के बारे में सोचा जाए। सर अनुसूचित जाति और अनुसूचित जनजाति समाज, जिस समाज से मैं आता हूं, उस समाज में सर कर्ज को लेकर के जो कर्ज लेने की जो समाज की ये है बहुत कमी है, वहां कर्ज बहुत कम लोग ले पाते हैं, और इसीलिए पूर्व में वित्त मंत्री श्री अरुण जेटली जी द्वारा एक योजना शुरू की गई थी, वेंचर कैपिटल फंड फॉर शेड्यूल्ड कास्ट। सर ये एक बड़ा ही अनोखा फंड है जिससे अनुसूचित जाति और जनजाति के लोगों को कर्ज मिल पाता है एक बहुत ही सस्ते दर पे। लेकिन सर अभी तक ये सिर्फ एक एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑर्डर है, इसको संवैधानिक जामा पहनाया जाए, इसको एक कानून के रूप में लाया जाए। इसके साथ ही सर हमारा जो 5वां और अंतिम सुझाव है वो यह है कि बहुत सारे जो बैंकिंग सर्विसेज होती हैं उसके चार्जेस लगते हैं, SMS के चार्जेस हैं, चेक बुक इशू करने के चार्जेस हैं। कोर्ट ने भी कई बार टिप्पणियां की है कि बैंक जो है इन सारे चार्जेस को अपने कस्टमर पे न लगाए, लेकिन उसके बावजूद भी बैंक जो है लगातार इस तरह के चार्जेस कस्टमर पे लगाता रहा है, ये कोर्ट की टिप्पणियों की अवहेलना करता रहा है। लास्ट में सर मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा कि मैं माननीय सदस्य संबित पात्रा जी के इस बात से बिल्कुल सहमत हूं कि जो माइक्रो पेमेंट्स के लिए सरकार ने UPI या IMPS की सुविधा बनाई है, उससे रिटेल इन्वेस्टर्स को बहुत फायदा हुआ है, और यही फर्क है UPA और UPI में। धन्यवाद सर।
थैंक यू। श्री मिथुन रेड्डी।
Thank you, sir. The banking sector is growing at a phenomenal pace, and hopefully these changes, these amendments, what the Honorable Finance Minister has brought, they'll help us keep up the pace. Sir, she has brought some key positive reforms, firstly on auditor accountability, and then on simplified reporting, advocating a uniform filing schedule on 15th and the last day of every month. So this will reduce a lot of administrative bottlenecks. Then on flexibility for depositors and also broader credit access in raising the threshold for substantial interest from 5 lakhs to 2 crores. So all these are in the, actually we should say that all these help our banking sector. And I have a few suggestions to make, sir. One is regarding the farmers and MSME sector. 62% of the country, of the people of our country are dependent on agriculture, and farmers are very important for the prosperity of our country. So a lot has been said about farmers, and there have been so many schemes where they're given loans with credit waiver and subsidies and even collateral-free loans. But not much is happening on the ground, even for MSME, sir. If we have to create more jobs, the MSME sector has to be supported in a proper way. So if you see, if we can provide incentives to commercial banks in the form of tax rebates or refunds for diversified credits to selected MSME sectors, low-scale farmers, etc., this might help the credit supply to the at the banking end, and it will help both the farming community and the MSME sector. And sir, one more issue, important issue I would like to bring to the notice of the Honorable Minister is that if you see student loans, sir, they contribute to the highest portion of non-performing loans as of this year, as per RBI's Financial Stability Report, July 2024. This is because we have not structured education loans in a proper way, and we are giving them as personal loans. So we as a country have the highest percentage of youth compared to any other country in the world. So without proper education to our children, our country is not going to go in the right direction. So I request the Honorable Finance Minister to create a structure so that all these NPS are taken care of and the students get the flexibility of repayment without having the pressure of being an NPA account, sir. Sir, and one more thing, I would like to talk about Andhra Pradesh agreement with SECI, sir, for the power. So there is a Telugu saying which says that which says that one person said a bull or an ox has given birth to a calf, the other person said go tie it without even applying his mind, sir. Same is happening, sir. Andhra Pradesh government has made a contract with SECI, and it was not done with any private player or Adani or anybody, sir. I want to bring to the notice of the House. And SECI is a central government organization. SECI, it has not only made an agreement with Andhra Pradesh, several states, sir, both the NDA state, NDA ruled states, and even the India coalition ruled states. So how can there be a misdoing, sir? And that to the cost of power, which it was signed is ₹2.49. That too, it was done in 2021, and now it is 2024. I would like to bring to the notice of the House the latest auctions which have happened, bidding where various players have participated. The cost, if you see NTPC in May 24, the cost of power is ₹2.69. And if you see even SECI, which has signed with various people have participated in the bidding, it is ₹2.57. And even all the bids which have been done in 2024 are more than ₹2.49, which has been signed by Andhra Pradesh. Over the years, the cost of the panels also is coming down, sir. In spite of that, we got a better rate in 2021. And this has been propagated badly by a select few media houses and so-called pseudo intellects, which is not good. Through yourself, I would like to bring to the attention of the House and everybody, sir. This is a contract between a central government organization and state government with the lowest rate. And that too, when did it happen, sir? When the average cost of power was 5 rupee 90 paise. The cost of power earlier, before 2019 was, solar power was, average cost of solar power was 5 rupee 90 paise. And it came down to 2 rupee 49 paise. And even today, not only Andhra Pradesh, sir, all our neighboring states, they have made a contract with SECI for more than 2 rupee 49 paise. And that too, Andhra Pradesh had the facility of waiver of interstate transmission charges, sir. Even as I stand here, even if you go to the energy exchange today, sir.
Honorable member, you made your point, though it is not connected with the bill.
Sir, is
Please go on.
mukyamana vishayam.
Please go on some other issue.
Sir, today, if you see on GDAM, it is the cost of solar power is three rupees, sir, plus 2% commission to energy exchange, plus ISTC charges, plus 3 to 4% losses. So it is way above what we have signed. So all these comments or all these things, I only request one thing. I want them to apply their mind, not be biased, and talk about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sri Sudhakar Singh. Honorable member Sudhakar Singh. Yes, please.
माननीय सभापति महोदय, मैं बैंकिंग कानून संशोधन विधेयक 2024 का विरोध करने के लिए खड़ा हुआ हूं, क्योंकि ये नियम बैंकों को कमज़ोर बना सकते हैं और आम लोगों के हितों को नुकसान पहुंचा सकते हैं। भले ही इन नियमों का कहना है कि ये बैंकों को और बेहतर बनाएंगे, लेकिन ये नियम बड़े लोगों को और ज़्यादा ताकत दे सकते हैं और आम लोगों की आवाज़ को दबा सकते हैं। मुझे डर है कि इन नियमों की वजह से बैंक पारदर्शी नहीं रहेंगे और लोग अपने पैसे को लेकर सुरक्षित महसूस नहीं करेंगे। इसमें एक विषय है कि सहकारी बैंकों के बैंकिंग अधिनियम 2049 की धारा 10A के तहत सहकारी बैंकों के निदेशकों का कार्यकाल 8 साल से बढ़ाकर 10 साल करने का प्रस्ताव लोकतांत्रिक कार्यप्रणाली को कमजोर करता है। अगर इन लोगों का कार्यकाल बढ़ा दिया जाता है तो ये लोग लंबे समय तक बैंक पर राज करेंगे और हो सकता है कि वो अपने निजी फायदे के लिए काम करें, न कि आम लोगों के हित में काम करें। दूसरा इसमें विषय है कि जमाकर्ता जो बैंकों में है उसमें संरक्षण का जो कानून है कमज़ोर पड़ेगा। पहले यह नियम था कि अगर किसी व्यक्ति के पास किसी बैंक के 5 लाख से ज़्यादा के शेयर हैं तो वह उस बैंक के फैसलों पे बहुत ज़्यादा प्रभाव नहीं डाल सकता, इसीलिए उस पर नज़र रखी जाती थी। लेकिन यह सीमा बढ़ाकर 5 लाख से 2 करोड़ रुपए कर दी गई है। इसका मतलब कि वह अब बहुत अमीर लोग बैंकों पर ज़्यादा प्रभाव डाल सकते और हो सकता है कि बैंकों का निजी इस्तेमाल अपने निजी हित में करें। सरकारी बैंकों पर नज़र रखने और उन्हें जवाबदेह बनाने की क्षमता कमज़ोर होगा इस कानून से। जहां विधेयक सार्वजनिक क्षेत्रों के बैंकों को लेखा परीक्षक पारिश्रमिक निर्धारित करने में विवेक प्रदान करता है, भारतीय स्टेट बैंक अधिनियम 1955 की धारा 41 यह कदम लेखा परीक्षक की स्वतंत्रता से समझौता कर सकता है, जोड़ तोड़ के लिए अवसर पैदा कर सकता है और सार्वजनिक क्षेत्र के बैंक संचालन में पारदर्शिता को कम कर सकता है। चौथा विषय इसमें है कि जमाकर्ता शिक्षा और संरक्षण कोष के उपयोग के निर्धारण में बहुत अस्पष्टता उभर कर आएगा कि जो इस कोष बनेगा उस कोष में जो पैसे होंगे उसका इस्तेमाल क्या किया जाएगा, और डर है कि इस तरह के पैसे का दूसरे कार्यों में इस्तेमाल होगा। क्षेत्रीय और ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों के वाजिब जो चिंताएं थी इसमें नज़रअंदाज करने का काम किया गया है। विधेयक शहरी केंद्रित सुधारों पर असमान रूप से केंद्रित प्रतीत होता है। क्षेत्रीय ग्रामीण बैंकों और सहकारी बैंकों द्वारा सामना की जाने वाली अनूठी चुनौतियों की उपेक्षा करता है, जो हाशिए के समुदाय के लिए वित्तीय जीवन रेखा के रूप में काम करते हैं। इन संस्थाओं को व्यापक जनोन्मुखी संशोधन के बजाय अधिक समर्थन और अनुकूलित नीतियों की आवश्यकता है। खासतौर से वो जो किसान, जो हमारे ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में रहने वाले लोग, छोटे कारोबारियों के जो ऋण देने की जो सार्वजनिक बैंक थे वो लगभग अब धीरे धीरे अपना अधिकार वो NBFC को ट्रांसफ़र कर रहे हैं और NBFC जिस कठोर तरीके से ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में कारोबार कर रहे हैं। बिहार में एक उदाहरण है, बांका में 4 लोगों ने मात्र 20 लाख रुपए जो ऋण लिए थे उस नहीं दे पाने से 4 लोग ने आत्महत्या कर लिया, जब उसमें पता चला कि ये ज़्यादातर जो ऋण थे वो NBFC के जरिए लिए गए थे। ये परिस्थितियाँ बहुत विकट होती जा रही है। वित्तीय समावेशन में अनसुलझे चुनौतियों पर भी ध्यान देना होगा। भारत में बहुत से लोग अभी भी बैंकिंग सुविधाओं का इस्तेमाल नहीं कर पाते हैं। खास तौर से गांव के लोग, गरीब लोग, इन कानून में इन लोगों की समस्याओं को हल करने के लिए कोई ठोस कदम नहीं उठाए गए हैं। इसके बजाय इस कानून में बैंकों के काम करने के तरीके को बदलने पर ज़्यादा जोर दिया गया है, जो कि इन लोगों के लिए बहुत फायदेमंद नहीं होगा। माननीय सभापति महोदय, बैंकिंग कानून में बदलाव लाने वाला नया कानून जो हाल ही में पेश किया गया है, केवल बड़े लोगों के फायदे के लिए बनाया गया है और आम लोगों की चिंताओं को पूरी तरह से नज़रअंदाज करता गया है। यह कानून कुछ बड़े लोगों को और ज़्यादा ताकत देगा और छोटे बैंकों और आम लोगों की बातों को कम महत्व देता है, खास करके गांव में रहने वाले लोगों की। मैं सरकार से गुजारिश करता हूं कि इस कानून को दोबारा सोचे और इसमें कुछ बदलाव करे, ताकि हर किसी को बराबर का हक मिले और बैंकों के लोगों के पैसे के बारे में जवाबदेह होना पड़े। बैंक लोगों के विश्वास पर चलते हैं और हमें ऐसे कानून बनाने चाहिए जो इस विश्वास को और मजबूत करे। यह नया कानून सिर्फ कहता है कि हम कुछ सुधार कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जिस तरीके से इसे बनाया जा रहा है और लागू किया जाएगा वह देश के हित में नहीं। अगर सरकार सच में चाहती है कि हर किसी के पास बैंक का खाता हो और लोगों का पैसा सुरक्षित रहे, तो उसे आम लोगों की समस्याओं पर ध्यान देना होगा। संसद सिर्फ कानून बनाने की एक जगह नहीं, बल्कि लोगों की आवाज़ सुनने, उन पर भरोसा करने की जगह भी है। धन्यवाद।
Thank you. Sri Karthi Chidambaram.
Sir, the Indian rupee against the US dollar today is at 84 rupees 73 paisa, and the growth rate in this last quarter is 5.4%, the lowest in 7 quarters, and inflation is at 6.21%. Whenever inflation is greater than economic growth, and if that continues, it will lead to stagflation. In this backdrop, this government has brought about the Banking Laws Amendment Bill. The Prime Minister, when he was parroting the slogan, what is it called? 400 Par, he held a cabinet meeting in March where he said when he comes back to power, he will have a 100-day agenda where they will bring about majestic reforms. I'm sorry to say, sir, if these are the reforms which the government talks about, this is hardly majestic. This is merely tinkering on the margins and are innocuous changes which they have brought about. I will talk about 1 or 2 changes they have brought about and what they have missed out in this bill. They have said now that you can nominate people successively or simultaneously for bank lockers and for deposits. I hope they clarify the rules clearly. If there is a certain amount of jewelry in a bank deposit, and they say simultaneously it will be given to many people, they must specify, the person who is opening the locker must clearly specify which jewel will go to which person. Otherwise, what will happen is, if there is no clarity, the bank will say there is no clarity and will confiscate or not give the jewelry to anybody. It will lead to lots of confusion. And in successive nomination, what will happen is, if A nominates B, and after B it is X, Y, and Z, for some reason A passes away, and then B also passes away, it is very likely the bank will ask Mr. X to bring the death certificate of B and Mr. A. He might not even know B. So there can be lots of administrative confusion in these successive and simultaneous nominations, and the government and hopefully the minister will clarify the procedure in which successive and simultaneous nominations will be done. The other point is that, sir, they said unclaimed dividends will be sent to the Investor Education Protection Fund. Sir, the minister must clarify how much fund is already existing in the Investor Education Protection Fund and what is that fund doing to educate people about dubious public issues which are still coming up today and about the financial fraud which is happening in the banking sector. There is no point in creating a fund and adding more and more money to it if you do not know what that fund is doing and how the funds in that corpus is being spent, sir. Sir, most importantly, this bill has missed out on many things. They could have brought about some monumental change in ease of doing business. Sir, as you know, there is so much cyber fraud happening. What is the government doing to stop cyber fraud? The government must bring about a clear policy to stop cyber fraud. Sir, the tyranny of KYC is happening. I'm sure, sir, you also have a bank account which is linked to some phone number. I'm sure they are calling you all the time and asking you to update KYC. I think we should stop this tyranny of KYC. When there is nothing changed, your name is not changed, your parents' name has not changed, your address is not changed, Nothing has changed, but the bank is calling you millions of times in a year, asking you to update your KYC, and it's a serious harassment. Because they're outsourcing the KYC process to some third-party agency, and that agency has to make these calls to harass you. The government must bring in order to make life easier for the customer, they must simplify and mandate that if there is no change, there is no reason to update your KYC multiple times in a year. Sir, another thing, sir. Like Chitragupta makes accounts of all our activities in this world to Yamadharma, there is this agency called CIBIL, which is making a record of all our transactions. If you want to take a car loan, if the finance minister of this country wants to take a house loan, everything depends on the CIBIL score. But nobody knows how this CIBIL organization works. It's actually a private company. It's a company called TransUnion. This is the company which is rating every one of us our credit based on our credit history. But we do not know whether they are updating our credit history properly. There is no transparency. There is no way for us to appeal. There is a complete asymmetry between the company which is rating us and us. There is no redressal at all, sir. Every time we go tell a bank, I have paid my loan on time, but they will say, no, your CIBIL score is bad. When we say we do not know how to approach CIBIL, it's fair, for farmers, while they get a subsidy from the government, when they use the subsidy to repay the loan, CIBIL does not update it. If you go for a settlement with an ARC, CIBIL does not update it. So there must be greater transparency. The government has missed out an opportunity to make life easier by reforming these things instead of just tinkering in the margins. Sir, this government has been a government which has been very pro-corporate. I will give you list out a list of companies, sir. Karaikal Port Private Limited, Korba West Power, SR Power MP, Radius Estates and Developer, Digi Port, Aditya Estates. These are all distressed sale of assets which went to a corporate, sir. Instead of focusing on corporates, this government should focus on writing off the student loans, which is only 90,000 crores. They could have easily written off the student loan instead of giving haircuts to corporates and being pro-corporate. Sir, this bill is nothing majestic. It's an innocuous bill. It does nothing to make life easier. It is completely anti-consumer and anti-middle class. This bill must be withdrawn and a reformist bill must be brought forward. Thank you very much, sir.
Very good, sir. Shri E.T. Bashir, Muhammad Bashir.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. Sir, as far as India is concerned, we are having a very strong banking system. As far as the proposal in this bill is concerned, there are some glimpses of good suggestions. That is to improve the governance and standard, provide consistency in reporting by bank to the Reserve Bank of India, ensure better protection for depositors and investors, improve audit quality in public sector banks, bring customer convenience in respect of nomination, and to provide for increase in tenure of the directors in cooperative bank. So these are all certain things. It is meant for banking improvement, trustworthiness of the depositor and his confidence. So that is a very important thing. The trustworthiness is the most important capital of a bank. Trust between the customer and the bank. There are certain proposals are there, it is effective also. And the nomination facility is concerned, that also is okay. Instead of 1, it is going to be 4. That also is there. Purpose in brief is, sir, cooperative bank directors, one thing. Other points, people have mentioned that. Tenure of the cooperative bank director is extended up to 10 years instead of up to 8 years. I don't find much logic in that, sir. I hope that the minister will explain what benefit we are expecting from such a thing. I feel that it's better to maintain the old system itself because there is no much meaning in the new system. It's better to have an existing system in that. Then with regard to the nomination, I said, instead of 1, it is 4. That also seems to be a practical kind of things. Now, other things, sir, with regard to unclaimed funds, Chairman was saying about that, no? Anyhow, that also seems to be practical things. Instead of keeping that in idle, it is for deposit. It will be deposited for IAPF program. That also is a part of the welfare of the members of the system earlier. Affected people can still claim their money also later. That also seems to be a thing to avoid further complication in this.
Similarly, sir, audit pay. Banks will now decide how much to pay their auditors instead of RBI. Whether this is feasible or not, that is to be discussed, sir. Sir, one thing I would just...
Please conclude. Please conclude.
Sir,
honorable member 6 o'clock,
yes,
minister
sir,
has to give
our
reply.
strength is what, sir? That is
And more members are there.
yes.
Please conclude.
Because, widespread network we are having, that is one thing. And diverse portfolio, that is another plus point for Indian banking system. These things are there. So towards the end, I would like to say about people were saying about the bank fraud and that kind of thing. We have to address that properly. Unless we ensure that kind of thing, we will be failing in our duty. The challenges we all know, sir, the regulatory mechanism. I would like to suggest that you have to examine whether our system is perfect or not in the light of new challenges, whether we should revamp our system of regulatory mechanism. These things I would like to say, sir. Towards the end, the student loan system. It's a cumbersome process, sir. I humbly appeal the government to ensure a kind of speedy disposal of such cases.
Thank you.
In that case, government should take that also with serious.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sri Sachidanandam, please.
Laws Amendment Bill 2024 seeks to amend the Banking Regulation Act 1949, the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934, the State Bank of India Act 1955, Banking Companies Acquisition and Transfer of Undertakings Act 1970 and 1980. On behalf of Communist Party of India Marxist, I propose some amendments to the amendments which our Finance Minister proposed. It seeks to increase the substantial interest from rupees 5 lakhs to rupees 2 crores. It is on the higher side compared to the price rise, and taking other things into consideration, it can best be increased to 50 lakhs. It seeks to amend the tenure of directors in cooperative banks from 8 years to 10 years. In our opinion, the increase in tenure will lead to vested interest. So instead of tenure could be reduced to 5 years. It seeks to amend the reporting dates. That is fine. The reporting dates can be amended. It seeks to amend the nomination rules. For a locker, instead of a single nominee or a joint nominee, it provides for 4 nominees, one after another. It is a welcome move. Another amendment with regard to transfer of dividends, shares and interest or redemption of bonds to the Investor Education and Protection Fund. We have to ensure that the claims after transfer are made hassle-free. Then it can be allowed, and the amount that it transferred must also be properly utilized to not only educate the banking clients but also to prevent the cyber crimes, which are increasingly very alarming nowadays. And it is again seeking to amend the provision to provide discretion to public sector banks in the matter of remuneration of auditors. Again, this will create vested interest to the top management of public sector banks. This aspect need not be amended. It is continued in the present system. Thousands of employees in the public sector banks fear job insecurity due to privatization. This bill does little to address their concerns. Why is the government not prioritizing employment stability, especially in the time of rising unemployment? This bill is yet to another example of the government prioritizing privatization and corporate interests over welfare of the common people. It jeopardizes the stability of banking sector, compromises financial inclusion, and creates opportunities to misuse of the system. I urge the government to reconsider its approach and prioritize strengthening our public bank system. Let us not sacrifice the nation's financial sovereignty at the altar of privatization.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sri Brem Chandar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, sir, for providing me this opportunity to intervene in this debate. Sir, I have already moved I've already given notices of amendments, more than 10 amendments. I will not speak at the time of moving amendments, so I may be provided with little bit bonus time. Sir, the Banking Laws Amendment Bill 2024 is against the basic principles of legislative process. At the time of introduction of the bill itself, I have made my opposition. Why? Because the distinct provisions of difference bill proposed to be amended are put together for attaining different aims and objects is not a fair legislative practice, for which distinct and separate bills have to be brought in the House so as to make amendments. In this case, 5 legislations are to be amended. I'm not going to the details of that. If it is rightly, honorable member from the other side has said that it is consequential amendments. These are all not consequential amendments. One is the Cooperative Director Board, and another one is regarding the threshold, and another one is entirely different. So different acts for different purposes and clubbed together and coming as a consolidated law means this is not a fair legal practice, legislative practice. So that is my technical objection regarding this bill that I have made at the time of the introduction of the bill also. Sir, coming to the contents of the bill, I support the bill, I support the bill with some reservations, Sir, the recent reports relating to Indian banking sector shows that Indian banks are more vibrant and resilient. And key banking indicators, namely credit growth, net profit, CRAR, GNPA ratio, NNPA ratio, PCR are in good condition, I do admit. I would like to know from the Honorable Finance Minister, at the same time when you are making a rosy picture of the health, financial, fiscal health of the Indian banks, when you are making such a picture, I would like to know from the Honorable Minister, what is the amount written off during the last 3 financial years? Sir, it is learned that in the last quarterly profit of SBI is 18,000 crores. That means per day SBI is making a profit of 200 crores. And I would like to know from the Honorable Minister, because the recent reply on 25th November 2024, this reply given by the Honorable Minister in question number 144, for the industry alone, during the 23-24, 1,80,500 crores of rupees are written off in 23-24 financial year. And as far as the retail loans, 90,000 crores of rupees have been waived off. So this is the way by which the banks are functioning. So that sector, I would like to know the clear picture regarding this. But as far as the SARFAESI is concerned, because Mr. Karthi Chidambaram was talking about the educational loans. See, the SARFAESI Act has become a big phenomenon, and it has become a big issue. As far as the single house loan borrowers and the small and micro enterprises loans, I suggest to the Honorable Minister, please, when it becomes an NPA, an opportunity may be provided to the small and micro enterprises loans, because small and micro enterprises loans are 80% of the MSME, 95% of the MSME is from this category, small and micro enterprises. So they should be given an opportunity to restructure the loans instead of stamping it as an NPA. This has to be taken into consideration, for which the government of India has to discuss with the Reserve Bank of India so as to have an amicable solution to help and protect this poor small and micro enterprises. And coming to another issue, sir, regarding the cashew industry in my constituency in the state of Kerala, not only in the state of Kerala, throughout the country, 95% of the cashew workers are poor women belonging to the very, very downtrodden people. Unfortunately, the state chief minister has convened a meeting of all the banks in the SLBC and decided to have a one-time settlement. But unfortunately, the banks are not honoring and complying the commitment made at the time of the SLBC. That has to be looked into. Sir, coming to the clauses of the bill, sir, section 45ZA, that is clause 10 of the bill, that is of the banking regulation, has to be amended to give effect to provide nomination for not more than 4 persons, either successively or simultaneously. Karthik Chidambaram has made a very vital point. Successive and simultaneous nomination is more problematic than the existing provisions of the law. I will explain, sir. Sir, the proposed... Sir, please. I'm purely within the bill. And
yes, I know, but time consent is there.
Madam is ready to hear. Sir, please. Madam will reply after 10 or 15 minutes.
Good point.
Sir, I'm fully confining to the bill. Sir, another important amendment is the proposed amendments give provision for proportionate allocation for nominees. This is successive and simultaneous nomination, number 1. And number 2 is a provision for proportionate allocation for nominees and restricting the number of nominees to 4. My question is, suppose, number 1 question is whether it is in consonance with the succession law. Whether it, because a nominee is only entitled to collect the money, he is legally not entitled to get the money. A nominee means he is only entitled to receive the money. But suppose if I am having 5 sons, I want to give 5 persons as nominees. Why should we restrict the number of nominees to 4? Instead of having the number of legal aids in which he wants to allocate the money. And the second point he has raised, I would like to reiterate, Investor Education Protection Fund. Sir, by virtue of the SBA Act, Acquisition and Transfer of Undertakings Act of 76 as well as 1980, it's provide for transferring unpaid or unclaimed dividend to an unpaid dividend account. If the money is in the unpaid dividend account, is not paid or not claimed within 7 years, it will be transferred to Investor Education Protection Fund, and that can claim from that fund. Sir, it is reliably laid that as on 31/10/2022, total balance amount in IPF is around 5,539.25 crores. How this money is being utilized?
Please,
sir, one minute. Huge amount of money is locked up as an unclaimed deposit. About 78,000 crores is lying with RBI in the Depositor Education and Awareness Fund. Similarly, huge amount is locked up as unclaimed amount under insurance policies. That will come around 22,000 crores. And similarly, unclaimed amount of interest. Finished. Interest amount and dividend warrant will be equal to 80,000 crores. Most of these amounts are due to be paid to the legal aids. Due to the difficult procedure, it is very difficult to get it back. Recent report prepared by the Money Life Foundation suggested to simplify the standard of procedures and rules so that the legal aids can avail the benefits. So I urge upon the Honorable Minister, RBI has to simplify the procedure, duly guarding against the fraudulent claim so that the bank official can also settle the claim and protecting the interests of the claimants. With these words, I conclude. Thank you very much.
Honorable Member Sudama Prasad. Please.
धन्यवाद माननीय सभापति महोदय, आपने बोलने का मौका दिया। एक अदम गुंडवी की कविता है कि तुम्हारी फाइलों में गांव का मौसम गुलाबी है, तुम्हारी फाइलों में गांव का मौसम गुलाबी है, मगर ये आंकड़े झूठे हैं, ये दावा किताबी है। तुम्हारी मेज चांदी की, तुम्हारी मेज चांदी की, तुम्हारे जाम सोने के, यहाँ जुम्मन के घर में आज भी फूटी रकाबी है। महोदय, हमने तो सोचा था कि बैंकों के लेन देन के मामले में कोई अहम बदलाव इस बिल में आएंगे, लेकिन वो कहीं दिखाई नहीं पड़ा। हमारे एक माननीय सदस्य ने बताया सदन को कि पिछले वर्षों में 10 लाख करोड़ रुपया जो है बैंकों का वसूल किया गया। तो मैं ये भी आंकड़ा जानना चाहता हूं महोदय कि पिछले 11 वर्षों में कितने लोगों का बैंक का कर्ज माफ किया गया, ये आंकड़ा आना चाहिए। कर्ज वसूला गया आम आदमी से, आम किसानों से, छोटे मझोले दुकानदारों और कारखानेदारों से, और कर्ज माफ किया गया अडानी अंबानी सरीखे कॉरपोरेट घरानों के। तो ये बैंकों की पूंजी का प्रवाह कॉरपोरेट घरानों के तरफ है, आम आदमी के तरफ नहीं है। आम आदमी को लोन नहीं मिलता है। एक साधारण किसान अगर 50,000 का लोन समय पर जमा नहीं करता है तो उसके डांड में रस्सा लगा करके घुमाते हुए गिरफ्तार किया जाता है, जेल में ले जाया जाता है। तो मुझे लगता है कि बैंकों की दिशा जो है पूंजी का प्रवाह आम आदमी की तरफ किया जाना चाहिए। महोदय, ये कहा गया कि भाई ये चौथी अर्थव्यवस्था है देश की। देश जो है भारत दुनिया में चौथी अर्थव्यवस्था है और कुछ वर्षों में ये तीसरी अर्थव्यवस्था हो जाएगी। जब देश में अब तक की सबसे ज्यादा बेरोजगारी हो, महंगाई हो, विकास दर तेजी से घट रहा हो, किसानों की खेती भयानक रूप से घाटे का शिकार हो, छोटे मझोले दुकानदारों कारखानेदारों का व्यवसाय चौपट हो रहा हो, आम आदमी की आमदनी घट रही हो, तो हम दुनिया की चौथी अर्थव्यवस्था कैसे हैं?
प्रसाद जी प्लीज कंक्लूड।
एक तिमाही में सर, एक साल में विकास दर 2% घटा है,
प्लीज
2% घटा है।
थैंक यू।
और ये दावे कर रहे हैं मजबूती के। धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू। श्री के प्रकाश।
மாண்புமிகு அவைத் தலைவர் அவர்களுக்கும் தமிழ்நாடு முதலமைச்சர் அவர்களுக்கும் வங்கி திருத்த சட்ட மசோதா 2024 என பேச அனுமதித்ததற்கு முதற்க நன்றியை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். கடந்த ஸ்டேட் பேங்க் ஆஃப் இந்தியா SBI தோராயமாக 40,000 மியூல் கணக்குகளை அடையாளம் கண்டுள்ளது, அதனுடைய போலி கணக்குகள் வாயிலாக. அதே போல பஞ்சாப் நேஷனல் பேங்கில் சுமார் 10,000 கணக்குகளும் மற்றும் கனரா வங்கியில் 7,000 கணக்குகளும் இந்த முறையின்படி மோசடியில் உள்ள கணக்குகளாக தரவுகள் கூறுகிறது. அதேபோல மகேந்திரா பேங்க் ஒரு 6,000 அக்கௌண்ட், இந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் நிறைய அக்கௌண்ட், இந்த மாதிரி போலியான அக்கௌண்ட் அதிகமாக உள்ளது. அதே போல இன்னைக்கு என்னோட கணக்குகளில் உள்ள அக்கௌண்ட், உதாரணத்துக்கு நான் ஒரு எம்பியா, தமிழ்நாடு எம்பியா இருக்கிறேன். மேடம் வந்து தமிழ்நாட்டினுடைய நிதியமைச்சர் தான், மேடம் தான் இருக்கிறாங்க. என்னுடைய சொந்த அக்கௌண்ட்லயே கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு ஆண்டுக்குள் 10,640 ரூபாய், அது என்ன கணக்குனே தெரியல. அதுல வந்து என்னோட சொந்த அக்கௌண்ட்லயே வந்து அது கொள்ளையடிக்கப்பட்டதாக தான் நான் கருதுறேன். அதனுடைய கணக்கினுடைய விவரத்தை நான் இப்ப சொல்றேன் பாருங்க. 1/1/2024 என்னோட கணக்கினுடைய தொகை, நடப்பு கணக்கினுடைய தொகை 28,374 ரூபாய். அதுல வந்து
பிரகாஷ் எவ்வளவு மாறி இருக்குன்னு சொல்லுங்க, டீடைல்ஸ் சொல்ல நேரம் இல்ல.
10,620 ரூபாய் அதுல இருந்து எடுக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. அது வந்து அதாவது மினிமம் பேலன்ஸ் இருக்கையிலேயே இந்த தொகை வந்து எடுக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. இது போல பல லட்ச கணக்குகள் உள்ள இந்த நமது நாட்டில் இவ்வாறு ஒரு முறைகேடு நடப்பது, ஒரு எம்பியினுடைய அக்கௌண்ட்லயே இவ்வளவு முறைகேடு நடந்ததுன்னா இதுவே ஒரு பெரிய ஆதாரமாக நாம் கூற முடியும் என்று நான் கருதுகிறேன். அதே போல குறைஞ்சபட்சம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம ஏடிஎம் பரிவர்த்தனை மூலமாகவும் இருப்பு, அதாவது மினிமம் பேலன்ஸ் குறைச்சல், இந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் நீங்க வந்து எடுக்கப்பட்ட தொகை வந்து 35,587 கோடி ரூபாய் இதுவரை நம்ம இந்த ஆண்டு மட்டும் எடுக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. இதுபோல பல போலியான அக்கௌண்டுகள், இதுல மூலியமா உள்ள அக்கௌண்டுகள் எல்லாமே நீங்க சரிபார்க்கப்பட வேண்டும் என்பது நம்மளுடைய கோரிக்கையாக வைக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. அதே வழக்குகள் உள்ள அக்கௌண்ட் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 13,564 அக்கௌண்ட் வந்து வழக்குல மட்டும் உள்ளதுங்க. அதே மாதிரி கிட்டத்தட்ட இந்த ஆண்டு மட்டும் 70% அக்கௌண்ட் வந்து இந்த மோசமான சூழ்நிலையில் இருக்குதுன்னு நான் சொல்ல போறேன். அதே மாதிரி இது அவசர கவனம் தேவைப்படும் வங்கி அமைப்பில் உள்ள ஒரு முக்கியமான குறைபாட்டை எடுத்து காட்டுகிறது. மற்றபடி இந்த KYC நடைமுறை வந்து நீங்க ரொம்ப ஸ்ட்ராங்கா அதை வந்து நீங்க கொண்டுகிட்டு வந்து முறைகேடான அக்கௌண்டை எடுக்க வேண்டும். அதே போல எங்களை போல ஒரு அதாவது எம்பிஸே அப்படி இழக்கிறப்போ குடிமக்களினுடைய பாதிப்பை நீங்கள் கண்டிப்பாக உணர வேண்டும். உதாரணத்துக்கு தமிழ்நாடு அரசு ஒவ்வொரு குடும்பத்திற்கும் 1000 ரூபாய் வங்கியில் செலுத்தப்படுகிறது. அதிலிருந்து இது போல தொகை வந்து நிறைய பேருக்கு இந்த பிரச்சனை இருக்குதுங்க. ஒவ்வொரு அக்கௌண்ட்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா அந்த 1000 ரூபாய் செலுத்துறது வந்து ஜீரோவா மாறி இருக்கு. இந்த
please honorable members, wait please honorable members, the time is already 6 o'clock. Few more members are going to speak. Thereafter the minister has to deliver her reply. I think that I want to know the sense of the house to extend the time. If it is possible, it can be extended up to 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. No, minister has to give reply. Some more. No, minister has to reply today. I think that. Venugopalji, please. I think that it may be extended up to 7 o'clock.
We requested in BSc also, single party MPs to be given a chance.
We are giving. See, I am having list. Gogaji, I am having list. I want to accommodate. In spite of that, time has to be extended since it is already 6 o'clock. Let it be extended up to 7 o'clock. Please continue. Time extended till 7 o'clock.
இதுபோல ஒவ்வொரு குடிமக்களுடைய வங்கி கணக்குகளிலும் நம்ம கொள்ளையடிக்கப்படுவதாக நினைத்துக் கொள்ளப்படக்கூடிய இந்த தொகை அனைத்தும் திரும்ப செலுத்தப்பட வேண்டும். இதனுடைய கணக்குகள் அனைத்தும் நீங்கள் கண்டிப்பாக தரவு செய்யப்பட வேண்டும். நமது தமிழ்நாடு முதலமைச்சர் அவர்கள் ஒவ்வொரு அக்கௌண்ட்லையும் 1000 ரூபாய் செலுத்திட்டு இருக்காங்க. அதை வந்து இந்த மினிமம் பேலன்ஸை மெயின்டைன் பண்ணாமல் அவங்களுக்கு அந்த 1000 ரூபாய் வந்து அது ஒன்றிய அரசு எடுத்துக்கொள்ளுகிறது. நாங்கள் அங்கே 1000 ரூபாய் செலுத்துறத ஒன்றிய அரசு வந்து அது நூதன முறையில் எடுத்துக்கொள்வதாக தான் நாங்கள் கருதுகிறோம். அது நீங்கள் வங்கி சேவையில் இதை வந்து நீங்கள் கடுமையாக நீங்கள் ஆட்சேபனை சட்ட திருத்தம் கொண்டுகிட்டு வர வேண்டும் என்று நமது தமிழ்நாட்டைச் சேர்ந்த நிதியமைச்சர் அவர்களை நான் கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறேன். கண்டிப்பாக எங்களுக்கு நிதி கண்டிப்பாக தேவை. ஏன்னா சிறு சிறு தொகை, இது சின்ன குடிமக்கள் சின்ன தொழில் பண்ணுறவங்கெல்லாம் இதில் ரொம்ப பாதிக்கிறாங்க. அதனால் அதை வந்து நீங்கள் கண்டிப்பாக காப்பாற்றப்பட வேண்டும் என்று கேட்டு இதை கண்டிப்பாக நீங்கள் செய்து கொடுக்க வேண்டும் என்று கேட்டு.
திரு பிரான்சிஸ் ஜார்ஜ்.
So the Banking Laws Amendment Bill 2024, as has been said by many of our colleagues here earlier, it tries to amend 5 acts. In fact, all these issues are important. I won't discount, I won't say that these are not important, but I think one particular area which the minister and the government should have concentrated on is this is the application of the SURFACE Act and the high-handed and unilateral actions taken by the banks, especially with regard to the MSMEs in our country. So the MSME is 6 crore. There are 6 crore enterprises under this particular category of micro, small and medium enterprises. And it generates employment, it brings in innovation in the industrial and manufacturing sector. And so, even the Supreme Court is on record saying that the Supreme Court has decided that banks or creditors must find early signs of trouble in MSME accounts before they become non-performing assets. So the focus is on a notification called Instructions for the Framework for Revival and Rehabilitation of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, issued on May 29, 2015. This notification was updated by the RBI in March 2016. These updates were made using the powers given by Section 21 and 35A of the Banking Regulation Act. The court said that the May 2015 notification has statutory force, meaning it is legally binding on all scheduled commercial banks licensed by the RBI. So according to the court, sir, the banks must follow the process outlined in the framework to help MSMEs before their accounts are labeled as NPS. But sir, in actual situation, what is happening? Sir, the government brought these laws, these instructions, these act, plus there is a framework for the revival of MSMEs. And the RBI guidelines are strengthened under Section 21 and 35A of the Banking Regulation Act. But sir, the banks are violating these RBI guidelines and MSME Act provisions. Sir, they are misusing this SURFACE Act. Most of the MSME owners can't afford legal recourse, leading to closure of, their companies, loss of livelihoods and economic distress. Sir, I would like to cite one case in particular that has happened in Kerala. Sir, a Kerala-based commercial bank, which it has acted so high-handedly that the Honorable Minister should particular note of this. Sir,
please conclude.
This particular company, sir, out of a loan of 77 crore availed by 2 companies, they paid back 101 crore as capital and interest. Out of 77 crore, they paid back 101 crore as capital and interest. But the bank authorities auctioned their properties and the building. Even their non-mortgaged property was auctioned under the SURFACE Act. See, only the valuable property and the factory was auctioned. The machinery was left out. And the machinery became a heap of scrap. Sir, please understand, Honorable Minister should kindly note, the banks, unilaterally raise the interest. They raise the interest from 18% to 20%. How can a small, medium, micro industry survive at the rate of 18 to 20% interest? And the bank auctioned the property, sir, and building for 4.65 crore.
Please conclude.
Which was valued at 17
Please wind up.
crore.
I will be confined to call other member.
Sir, I'm concluding.
Please.
5.45 acres of land plus 47,169 square feet building was auctioned off at 4.65 crore. The property itself was valued at 17 crore. So this is the way the banks are acting. So when we attempt to, amend banking laws, we have to really address these kind of issues. The amendments which are being made, I don't say that they are not important. But the real issues faced by the industrial sector, the manufacturing sector, the small, micro, medium sector, that has to be addressed. I hope the Honorable Minister will pay particular heed to this particular aspect.
Please, thank you.
That's all. Thank you, sir.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद माननीय अध्यक्ष जी कि आपने मुझे वो अपनी बात रखने का मौका दिया। आज हम यहाँ बैंकिंग लॉज अमेंडमेंट बिल के ऊपर चर्चा करने आए हैं, साथ ही साथ और भी अमेंडमेंट हैं जिस पे चर्चा हो रही है। आम आदमी की सुविधा के लिए जब 1969 में बैंकों का राष्ट्रीयकरण किया गया था तो उसका एम था कि हम ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों तक दूर दराज क्षेत्रों में अपनी बैंकिंग की सुविधाएं आम आदमी तक पहुंचा सकें, गरीब से गरीब आदमी तक पहुंचा सकें। इसमें यह नफा नुकसान नहीं देखा गया था, इसमें एक सामाजिक लक्ष्य था कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों तक हमारी पहुंच हो। लेकिन अब मौजूदा सरकार में पिछले 10 साल से नीतियां आ रही हैं कि निजीकरण की नीति आ रही हैं। चलिए, सबके अपनी अपनी विचारधारा होती है, सबके अपने अपने तरीके होते हैं, लेकिन 2021-22 के बजट भाषण में माननीय वित्त मंत्री जी ने आईडीबीआई बैंक के साथ साथ 2 और बैंकों के निजीकरण की बात करी थी, लेकिन इस बिल में अभी तक उसका कोई उल्लेख नहीं किया गया है। उनका भविष्य क्या होगा, आगे उनका क्या होना है, उनका भविष्य हवा में है अभी। तो इस पे मैं आपका ध्यान आकर्षित करना चाहता हूं। ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में कोऑपरेटिव बैंक की जो स्थापना हुई थी, उसके मुख्य उद्देश्य ये थे कि बिचौलिए और साहूकारों को खत्म कर दिया जाए, उनके शोषण से समाज को राहत मिले और कम दरों पे ऋण उपलब्ध कराया जाए। लेकिन आज की सच्चाई ये है कि अगर आप बैंकिंग सेवा लेने कोऑपरेटिव बैंक में जाते हैं तो आपको टेबल से टेबल इतना घुमाया जाता है कि जमीन पे, धरती पे जो धूल है उसमें इमरतियां बन जाती। अगर आप बिचौलियों का सहारा लेंगे, वहां बाहर खड़े जो मक्खियों की तरह भिनभिनाते बिचौलिए वहां मौजूद होते हैं, उनका सहारा लेंगे तो आप 25 से 30%, 50% तक आप उनको कमीशन देते हुए अपना काम बड़ी आसानी से करा सकते। इसी में, और अगर आप उनका सहारा ना लें तो आप वापस वहीं साहूकारों के पास चले जाते हैं। बस मैं अपनी बात छोटी सी रखता हूं बीच में। ये इसमें जो आम आदमी की बातें हैं, जो आम आदमी, आम किसान है, गरीब व्यक्ति है, उसकी सुविधा के लिए जो बातें होनी चाहिए थी, जिस उम्मीद से जनता सरकार की तरफ देख रही थी इन रिफॉर्म्स के लिए, तो वो उद्देश्य पूरा नहीं हुआ है। जिस तरह से मार्च में ही, जैसे चिदम्बरम जी बता रहे थे, मार्च में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने वादे किए थे। कानूनी, ये हमारे साइमल्टेनियस नॉमिनेशंस की बात सभी ने कर दी है, तो मैं दोबारा उसमें नहीं जाऊंगा। उसमें जो पर्याप्त स्पष्टता प्रदान नहीं की गई है, उसके भी मैं माननीय वित्त मंत्री जी से छेड़ना चाहता हूं। ये बात केसीसी की बड़ी समस्या है सर। आम आदमी को दौड़ भाग वही।
पुनिया जी प्लीज
सर, लास्ट है सर,
प्लीज
पूरा का सार निकाल करके एक दो सेंटेंस में खत्म कर रहा हूं सर। मेरे ये कहना है कि आम आदमी की जो समस्या है, जो भागदौड़ उसको करनी पड़ती है, चाहे वो केसीसी के ऋण की बात हो, चाहे वो उसको रिन्यू कराने की बात हो, या फिर बीमा पाने की बात हो, ये सारी बातों का जो प्रोसीजर है उसको आसान करना चाहिए। इसको आसान करना चाहिए। यही उम्मीद से आम आदमी आपकी तरफ देख रहे थे। टेन्योर की बात भी लोगों ने कर दी है, तो मैं दोबारा नहीं कहूंगा, लेकिन आखिरी में मैं बस ये कहना चाहता हूं कि आम आदमी पे विशेष ध्यान दे और आगे बहुत उम्मीद से माननीय वित्त मंत्री जी की तरफ हम लोग फिर उम्मीद करेंगे।
श्री चोटीलाल।
महोदय, आपकी अनुमति से एवं समाजवादी पीडीए के मसीहा माननीय अखिलेश यादव जी की अनुमति से बैंककारी संशोधन विधेयक पर बोलने का अनुमति प्रदान किया गया है। बैंक के निजीकरण के कारण मौजूदा समय में कर्मचारियों के साथ साथ ग्राहकों को भी बहुत परेशानी होती है महोदय। 70% लोग ग्रामीण क्षेत्र में रहते हैं संविदा कर्मचारियों के सीधे भर्ती के कारण युवाओं में रोष है। आरक्षण समाप्त कर सीधे भर्ती कर नियम विरुद्ध है, जिसके देश के युवा पीड़ित है, युवा परेशान है, कोई नौकरी नहीं है, लोन आसानी से नहीं मिलता है, इसमें सुधार की जरूरत है। लोन कैसे मिलता है? 4 महीने बैंक का चक्कर लगाते लगाते किस प्रकार से अपने क्षेत्र के लोगों से अगर आप पूछेंगे, जनता जनार्दन से पूछेंगे तो वो बताते हैं कि आसानी से लोन मिलने वाला नहीं है। जितना आसानी आप सोच रहे हैं वो आसानी नहीं होता है। इसलिए आसानी से गरीबों को, आदिवासियों को, सबको लोन मिलना चाहिए, मध्य वर्गों को भी मिलना चाहिए। देश के अनुसूचित जाति, अनुसूचित जनजाति, मध्य वर्ग के सभी गरीब को सस्ता लोन मिलना चाहिए और 50% पर सब्सिडी पर भी लोन मिलना चाहिए। इसलिए मैं कहता हूं कि देश का पैसा जो टैक्स का कटता है यह सभी बैंकों में जाता है, लेकिन अभी तक सुधार नहीं हो पाया कि सस्ता लोन दे करके गरीबों को उत्थान किया जाए, ये नहीं हो पाया है। इसलिए महोदय आपसे मेरा निवेदन है कि किसानों का भी कर्ज माफ किया जाए। किसान का कर्ज माफ नहीं हुआ है, इसलिए मेरा बस थोड़ा एक लाइन में आपके माध्यम से, सदन के माध्यम से मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि गरीबों को सस्ता लोन दिलाना पड़ेगा, गरीबों को सस्ता लोन दिलाना पड़ेगा। जैसे पहले लोन मिलता था, बकरी, भेड़, गाय, भैंस इत्यादि लोन कराना पड़ेगा। अगर चाहिए गरीब आदिवासियों के साथ न्याय तो बैंक से पैसा दिलवाना पड़ेगा, बैंक से पैसा दिलवाना पड़ेगा। धन्यवाद।
विशाल पटेल, ऑनरेबल मेंबर विशाल पटेल, लास्ट स्पीकर बिफोर द मिनिस्टर्स रिप्लाई।
माइक सर, माइक। धन्यवाद अध्यक्ष महोदय, आपने मुझे बैंकिंग अमेंडमेंट लॉ 24 पे बोलने का मौका दिया। मैं चाहता हूं, आई रियली वांट टू सपोर्ट दिस बिल, बट देयर I believe it's with good intention, but I believe there's a massive opportunity loss which I just want to bring in, and I'll be very short with my issues. So one is about tenure. I think it's brilliant that they brought in the 5-year, 10-year tenure for cooperative societies, because generally cooperative societies, the election is for 5 years, therefore 8 years was a problem. Though I think there's an opportunity loss because cooperative societies, especially UCBs, जो ग्रामीण और शहर में छोटे-छोटे बैंक चलते हैं, उनका फेस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है। जो डायरेक्टर होते हैं उनका चेहरा देख के लोग वहां डिपॉजिट रखा करते हैं और विश्वास पे बैंक चलती है। अगर 10 साल तक आप इनको सीमित रखते हैं तो बहुत मुश्किल आएगी कि कल शायद ये जब संचालक, ये जो डायरेक्टर्स हैं, ये बैंक से नीचे उतरेंगे तो शायद विड्रॉल शुरू हो जाएगा डिपॉजिट्स का। दैट्स समथिंग यू शुड कंसीडर। सर, ड्यूअल डायरेक्टरशिप जो आपने डीसीसी बैंक और आपने स्टेट बैंक का भी इश्यू निकाला, उसमें और एक छोटा सा चेंज अगर कर देते। सर, मैडम डीसीसी बैंक में मैं मैडम मंत्री जी को बताना चाहता हूं कि डीसीसी बैंक में भी जो डायरेक्टर होते हैं वो किसी यूसीबी में डायरेक्टर होते हैं और उस वजह से चुनाव लड़के वो डीसीसी में आ जाते हैं। सो इफ दैट वाज आल्सो प्रोविजन दैट अ कोऑपरेटिव यूसीबी डायरेक्टर कुड आल्सो बी अ डायरेक्टर इन अ डीसीसी बैंक। सर, अबाउट द नॉमिनेशंस आई वांट टू ब्रिंग अ वेरी स्मॉल इशू। सर, नॉमिनेशन सर एक एग्जिस्टिंग है कि कोई बुजुर्ग आदमी, ओल्ड मैन, उसका बेटा उसको संभालता नहीं है, पड़ोस का एक बेचारा लड़का उसको संभाल रहा था, तो उसके मरने के बाद नॉमिनेशन तो उसने पड़ोस के आदमी को दे दी, लेकिन उसके बाद उसको पैसा नहीं मिला क्योंकि लीगल इश्यूज आ जाते हैं। सो इफ दिस एक्ट ओवररोड the legal rights of the son and would allow the nomination to continue, would have been great. Sir, madam, sir, there's also major issue of cooperative banks where DCC banks के बहुत सारे पैसे, hundreds of crores are stuck in the denotification. They have not been replaced, and that is a case even that's going on Supreme Court. I really urge the government, this is a good opportunity for you to come off and do it. Sir, write-offs के बारे में almost 81% जो write-off किए गए loans हैं, वो भी आज तक recovery ना हो पाए, तो something that they could do. AI के बारे में अगर इस law में अगर election आ जाता कि AI के लिए तो अच्छा हो जाता। और जो प्राइवेट ये प्राइम लेंडिंग है, प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर लेंडिंग में थोड़ी इस अगर एक्ट में ये लोग बदल ले आते तो बहुत अच्छा होता है। किसानों को आज भी कर्जा सस्ते में नहीं मिल रहा, जो सस्ता आ रहा है वो भी गवर्नमेंट सब्सिडी की वजह से आ रहा है। तो दैट्स ऑल आई वांट टू से।
थैंक यू ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर।
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। So I'm indeed grateful to all the members. I think about 28 of them have spoken, subject to correction if there is any number change. as much as possible, I've been physically here to hear them, and I'll take more of my time to respond to each of their comments rather than get into the details of the amendments which the bill is bringing in. I think even in my opening statement, I have explained the details of what the amendments are aimed at and how many amendments they are, and also as to why these many amendments are coming through in one go. And I will certainly elaborate a bit more to explain to Honorable Member N.K. Premchandran, who normally gets into a lot of details about the parliamentary process, proceedings and so on. So I ardently listen to him, this bill or otherwise too. But in this case, I'll certainly give the details to explain why his apprehensions are not well founded. His apprehensions are, I would think, apprehensions only, because I can explain as to why they are not well founded. I would, as much as possible, try to go in the same order in which most of the MPs have spoken. But broadly, I want to say there has been a lot of general comments about, India's banking system, the solutions that you've offered. Maybe the banks are doing all right, but then you have NPAs. So there is a lot of, what I may be allowed to say, mixing of political details into what the reality of Indian banks is. Let me take a sense of confidence with which I would want to say, I'm indeed very happy that India and its banking system is where it is today. Being part of this government or as a citizen of this country, I would appeal to all honorable members through you, Speaker Sir, to just look at the world around us. Where are their banking systems? Many countries have lost their banks. Many of them have really collapsed. And we would think in countries where the regulatory mechanisms are very sound, in such countries too, banks have failed and failed miserably. And overnight, in fact, I can even quote the case, overnight, over a weekend, the government had to burn the midnight oil and give some kind of a salvaging package that Monday morning there was no run-in into the bank. That was the situation just 1.5 to 2 years ago, and in a very developed country. All of us would have read it in the papers. If that was the case about one bank in one western corner of that country, which was very much prominent because of the closeness to Silicon Valley, overnight they had to flush in money to say, no, run in, please, we'll take care of saving the bank. I heard a lot of voice which said, why this happened for Yes Bank and not for PMC? If only honorable members go into the details of what is the nature of bank we are talking about. Can the treatment be similarly given? So, India's banking sector, irrespective of politics, is critical to this nation. We can't afford to have any one of our banks struggling or on the crevice that they may fall off. I must credit the RBI and the Ministry of Finance, not because I'm there, but truly. Since 2014, we have been extremely cautious that banks remain stable. And you know the state of affairs when in 2014 Prime Minister Modi had come, my learned friend Sambit Patra and many others also spoke about the 4 R's with which we tried resolving the crisis in the banks. So the intention is to keep our banks safe, stable, healthy, and in the 10 years, you're seeing the outcome, and it is benefiting the economy. So I would appeal through the honorable members that India should take pride in the fact that today the banks are up to a lot of good. And they are being professionally managed. They are absolutely professionally managed, and I couldn't just recollect the name of the honorable member who said, what is your attitude about recapitalization of banks? I'm proud to say today, banks don't come to the government to say, recapitalize me. Because today they are professionally run, the metrics are healthy, they can go to the market and raise loans, raise bonds, and run their business accordingly. That relationship of government and the bank as my BAP, I can go to the ministry and take money and run my bank despite all the negatives, no longer prevails. We don't entertain such things because banks don't need to be entertained for it. They are professionally run today. And therefore, I would want, honestly, all of us to take immense pride in this. It's a national achievement. And as a result, today, the regional rural banks, I've done about 8 or 9 reviews personally, not sitting in Delhi, going to each of the states, each of the zones. RRBs, there was also concern. Nationalization achieved, and nationalization was done because we wanted to have more branches, more banks going into the rural areas, include people in car. Our RRBs are doing the very same thing. And I'm proud to say today they are mobile banking facilitated, they are internet banking facilitated, they are healthy in their deposit. The sponsor banks are doing so much to keep them absolutely active and on the toes. They are available in Arunachal Pradesh, they are available in Assam, they are available in Dur Daraz Ilaka of Rajasthan. And as a result today, that very valid question that I don't know if it was Member Supriya Sule who asked about NBFCs and the banks having that, NBFCs are giving away their duty and passing it on to NBFCs. NBFCs are raising the rate at which they're extending loans. There can be problems there. But NBFCs gave that advantage of going the last mile, which public sector banks at one stage did not have the methodology, but now they've come up with bank mitras with which they're providing all the banking facility. And using that as an argument, I want to answer several of the concerns which very many ministers, members of parliament raised. Nationalization was done because we wanted the branches to be available in rural areas. I'll tell you what the progress is. Between 14 and today, total branches of all public sector banks, total bank branches of all scheduled commercial banks have increased by 3,792 in a year to reach 1,65,501 in September 24. That many branches are there in India. Out of this, 85,116 branches are of public sector banks. They're also going to the rural areas or providing within 5 kilometers radius a touch point. It could be an ATM, it could be a bank mitra, it could be the brick and mortar branch, or it could be any other association with a small finance branch there. So within 5 kilometers, and I'm mapping it wherever, whichever state I go, I look at the map of where the bank presence is. Rural branches. First, 1,17,990 branches in March 14. Today, 1,65,501 bank branches of all the branches, scheduled commercial banks. Rural branches, 41,855 in March 2014, and today, as of September 24, 55,372 rural branches, brick and mortar branches. Semi-urban, 32,504 in March 2014. Now it is 45,314. Urban areas, 21,007 only in March 2014. Now it is 29,276 branches. Sir, concern was also, do we cover the poor? Do we cover the women? I'm just giving you the data to start with. Percentage of women covered under PM Mudra. 68% of all PM Mudra goes to women. PM Swanidhi. 44% of all of the Swanidhi loans go to the women. And these are not, interest high, whatever. They are collateral free, without security, given for small people who are having street end shops or push carts. So 44% are going to women in Swanidhi. And number of women bank mitras. Now these are not customers. These are women who are performing the banking function in the rural areas so that people are given the connect. more than 1 lakh out of around 12 lakhs, that is, there are 12 lakh bank mitras, more than 1 lakh are women. And this has become a very, very happy augury for them also, because they are able to earn a lot more by being active in the rural areas. So, total deposits, PM Jan Dhan Yojana. I'll also address some of the concerns some honorable members raised about charges being levied to small accounts. I'll come to that. What is the total deposit in PM Jan Dhan accounts? It's a very important number. Sir, 53 crore accounts, PM Jan Dhan Yojana. 53 crore. Our population is 1.41 crores. 53 crores have PM Jan Dhan. At the time when we started, and I never get tired of saying this, I repeat it. At the time in 2014, when I had the honor of serving under Honorable Prime Minister and under Shri Arun Jaitley as an MOS in finance, when it was launched, there was a lot of heckling. Oh, you're starting it for people with zero balance account? They can't even keep their balance. And what will happen to the service charge? Will they not be? They will not be in a position to. This is a useless exercise. All this was said at that time. I told you the number of people who have got PM Jan Dhan account today. Are these zero balance accounts? No. Today we have a total of 2.37 lakh crores in those accounts. 2.37 lakh crores. Average balance, and this is a very important metric that we have to keep in mind. Average balance of PM Jan Dhan account has increased from 1065 rupees. A single account, 1,000 rupees. 1,065 rupees was the average. Today, 4,397 rupees is the balance in the account. A Jan Dhan account, average, had 1,000 rupees only as their balance. 1,000 rupees. And that is March 2015. Today, those accounts, minimum balance on an average is 4,397 rupees. That is why, kul mila karke, the total in this PM Jan Dhan account is 2.37 lakh crores. So nationalization of the banks. The intent was reach all people, go to the rural areas, open branches, therefore nationalize. And since then to 2014, I gave you the numbers, sir. And after Jan Dhan Yojana came in, what is the number? Within 10 years, actually the original objective of nationalization has been far better achieved now. With both the poorest of the poor, with women in particular, rural areas and in urban areas. So I want to assure honorable members that under Prime Minister Modi, the twin balance sheet problem which festered banks and the health of Indian banks being what it is in 2013-14, and that is why if I may recall, before 2024 Lok Sabha election, in the last session, during the budget session, vote on account budget session, we came up with a white paper which pointedly said what was the reason for us to get the white paper now about the Indian banking system and not in 2014. If we had come out with a true story as we did in the white paper at that time, the confidence on the Indian economy would have been shattered. You wouldn't have had anybody coming into India. You wouldn't have had banks being touched with a barge pole. Our own depositors would have lost confidence. So it was easy temptation to release a white paper that time, which we did not. And I'm so happy Prime Minister and the Finance Minister at that time did not fall into that temptation. It would have given us a mileage for saying this is what we've inherited. But today, giving it after restoring the banks to some level, actually tells the true story. So nationalization, 50 years afterwards also, you leave a twin balance sheet problem for us to clear, and we stand up now with great sense of responsibility towards this country, showing how we've fulfilled that objective. Sir, I'm very tempted to give the performance index of Indian banks. Highest ever net profit of 1.41 lakh crores was achieved in 23-24 and 85,520 crore in the first half year of 24 and 25, with all the public sector banks turning profitable. Today, I can say with happiness that all our public sector banks are turning profitable. And as a sector, the profitability of all scheduled commercial bank is at a decadal high. In decades, you see this really reaching that level with a return on assets at 1.3% and return on equity 13.8%. The gross NPA, net NPA, all of that has been spoken about. I'll just briefly mention that. Gross NPA is reducing from 14.58 to 7.97 in March 2018 to 3.12 and 0.63% in September 24. So these are not data that you can just ignore. I want to highlight there was also concern about what happens to our MSMEs. Are you dealing with them? Are they getting assistance from the bank? Many of them suffer. I'd like to highlight the fact, sir, and this has been said earlier. I'm still not coming to the amendments in this bill, but very quickly I'll move to that. MSMEs in this budget in July 24 had at least 5 different schemes given for them. We have provided for the first time ever in the history of Indian banking. We have given them collateral-free, security-free term loans to buy machine and plants. Plant and machinery loan was never given to MSME. We have provided it. Prime Minister Modi said, you will not charge any security for them or collateral from them, you will still extend it. We have extended that. And I'm now going to all the MSME clusters to build awareness among MSMEs, saying, please utilize this. I want you all to go to the banks and take that credit. I've gone to Udaipur, I've gone to MSME clusters, I've also gone to Peenya in Bangalore, closer to Bangalore. I will be moving from one cluster to another, and I'm grateful the Honorable Minister for MSME, Shri Jitendra Manji, also has been accompanying me. We are going from cluster to say, these are the 5 facilities we have given, please come take it. And this kind of a push towards facilitating MSMEs, as we did during COVID. Honorable Speaker, sir, you are aware, Emergency Credit Liquidity Guarantee Scheme, which stood by MSMEs during the COVID. So MSME has never been forgotten by Prime Minister Modi, and I want to underline that all attention is being given to them. Sir, one other point on the MSME. I have set a target of an additional MSME lending of Sir, Honorable Member is saying something, I don't want to undermine him, but is jute parliamentary language? I'm sure people here can look at it. Sorry? Sorry?
आप उनका जवाब मत दो।
नहीं, इनका एक जवाब जरूर मैं दूंगी। अभी दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि उन्होंने मुझे झूठ का आरोप लगाया, लेकिन मैं बात ना ही बोलते हुए आपका जो आरोप को साबित करती हूं झूठ है।
नहीं, माननीय मंत्री जी, माननीय मंत्री जी, नहीं, गोगोई जी का हर एक पॉइंट का मैं जवाब दे रही हूं सर। गोगोई जी, ऑनरेबल मेंबर गोगोई का हर एक पॉइंट का मैं जवाब दे रही हूं, क्योंकि वो जो मेंबर कहते हुए चले गए मगर उनके समर्थन में दूसरे ऑनरेबल मेंबर खड़े हो रहे हैं, मैं तो मेरा अपना डिफेंस करना ही चाहिए। हाँ, आ रही हूं। Sir, Honorable Member Rajiv Rai ji,
मैं अभी सीधा उनके विषय में आना नहीं चाहती थी, बिकॉज सीक्वेंस में सम सीक्वेंस आई थॉट आई विल गो, बट सॉरी नहीं, क्रोनोलॉजी सीक्वेंस जो भी आपके मन में जो आता है कहिए, मगर मैं मेरा क्रोनोलॉजी और सीक्वेंस को बदल रही हूं 1 मिनट के लिए। सर, ऑनरेबल राजीव राय जी, मुझे दुख से कहना पड़ रहा है, बोले कि मैंने चिट्ठी लिखी हूं आपको और आपसे जवाब नहीं आया। Whatever, my Hindi being what it is. Yeah, you are a professor, you can correct somebody's English, you can correct my Hindi, but your political philosophy, I will have to remind you, may not be correct. Sir, honorable member चिट्ठी लिखी है, लिखा है, I don't mind. आप समझ रही हो बात। 9th November, sorry, please. मेरा हिंदी का मजाक मैं उड़ा रही हूं जी, क्योंकि मैं ये ऐसे स्टेट से आ रही हूं। भाई साहब, आप उसके पक्ष में बैठे हो ना, आप जरूर पूछिए। मैं ऐसे स्टेट से आ रही हूं जहां हिंदी पढ़ना गुनाह लगता है, इसीलिए बचपन से हिंदी पढ़ने का मुझे रोका गया। उधर आपका झगड़ा रखो, मेरे से नहीं। झगड़ा आपका उनसे होना चाहिए जो हिंदी पढ़ने में आपत्ति बोलते हैं, आपत्ति मानते हैं हिंदी, उनसे झगड़ा करो भाई, मेरे से क्या कर रहे हो? जल्दी से उठना नहीं है, जबकि आपके मित्र पक्ष का लोग का राजनीतिक हिंदी विरोध का समझते नहीं हो आप। सर,
पार्लियामेंट्री वर्ड है क्या?
हाँ, I didn't use any such a word. What is lukka? What is lukka? Who used it? Who used it? I have not used it at all. I am not a Hindi bhashi either. I have not used it, sir. Sir. That's right, whoever used it, right? I have not used it, sir. I'm sorry. What? I have not used it. I don't even know that word. What are you throwing it at me? You probably hear it in Assami. I have not used that word.
माननीय मंत्री जी।
Yeah, but I have not used the word because I don't know it. There is no lie or no. I am saying I have not used it, and I have not said you're lying. I am not here to argue in those. I argue on merit. If I have not used it, why will I admit it? And first of all, my Hindi is not so rich for me to use abuses. I use barely 10 words with which my bolchal Hindi karti hun ji. If only my vocabulary was rich, I'll know which is abuse, which is not. So, sir, this is a digression from the main point which Rajiv Raiji threw at me. He said, a letter dated 9/11, a letter was written to you, you didn't reply. I'm telling you, letter dated 9/11/24 was received on 23/11/24. The letter pertains to an issue being faced by bank mitras with a request to constitute a committee to examine their grievance. That was the matter he wrote. Sir? That is your letter now? Which is the letter you're talking about?
Without permission.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, thank you. I'll get that detail also. But now the detail. Excuse me, भाई साहब, वो पूर्ण सशक्त है, वो बोलेंगे हमारे साथ, don't worry. नहीं, 1 मिनट. वो ठीक है भाई, 1 मिनट सर. Sir,
प्लीज, आपको अलाउ नहीं किया।
नवंबर में इनके चिट्ठी का विवरण मैं दे रही हूं। अभी वो बोल रहे हैं दूसरी डेट, उसका भी मैं डिटेल्स निकलवा करके उनको दे देती हूं। सर, आपके सामने बोल रही हूं मैं। और ये नवंबर का चिट्ठी का जवाब मेरे से मैंडेटरी 15 दिन के अंदर एक्नॉलेजमेंट गया है उनसे, उनके पास, और उसके बाद डिटेल्ड रिप्लाई भी हमारी तरफ से चला गया इस मामले में। अगर उनके पास दूसरे और मामले हैं तो वो दे दीजिए, मैं जवाब उसका भी देती हूं। ठीक है, आप अभी बोल रहे हैं ना? That's fine.
नहीं,
अभी बोल रहा हूं।
एक मिनट मंत्री जी, एक मिनट। सांसद महोदय, हर सांसद महोदय का पत्र दिया, पर मंत्री जब बिल पर रिप्लाई करेगी तो हर पत्रों को लेके थोड़ी आएगी, तो संभव नहीं है। नहीं, ये संभव नहीं है, अनप्रैक्टिकल चीज है भाई। आपने चिट्ठी लिखी, चिट्ठी का मंत्री जी जवाब दिया, लेकिन बिल के जवाब के समय आपकी हर चिट्ठी का जवाब माननीय मंत्री जी आप भी।
थैंक यू सर। आप डिटेल दे दीजिए, उसका भी मैं देती हूँ, विवरण देती हूँ। अगर मेरी तरफ से जवाब नहीं आता, मैं लिखित में माफी भी लिखती हूँ। मैं ऐसे वैसे आदमी नहीं है जी। मगर आप जब दूसरे के साथ झूठ के आरोप मेरे ऊपर डालते हो स्पीकर के सामने, आई विल नॉट सिट क्वाइट। ऑलराइट सर, क्या? Okay, thank you. Rejoice yourself by correcting my Hindi, but you should also hold a complaint against them for not allowing us to learn Hindi in Tamil Nadu. Sir. All right, that's fine. Sir. Sir. Letter received. Sir. Sir. Gaurav Gogoi ka vishay, sir. I want to get into details. Sorry?
Please.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Please, honorable member.
Thank you for holding. Sir.
Okay. Please. माननीय मंत्री जी।
So because there's so much of heat on this, let me take 1 minute on that. I appreciate the honorable member getting up to say we are not opposed to many things, but we are opposed to only imposition of Hindi. I want to just give a clarification, sir. It's not the core part of the bill, but yes, I agree. But if there are members from your side raising it at me, I'd like to also answer that with the permission of the chair. All right? Sir. Of course I will take the matter. Of course I will take the matter. Sir, I will take the matter up, sir.
You made a wrong statement, Honorable Minister. We are not against learning Hindi. We don't object to it. We are only...
Thank you for that, sir. But now, let me say my word.
माननीय मंत्री जी।
So sorry if I can just take a minute more on that. They are... मेरा हिंदी में और इंग्लिश में, all right. They are opposed to imposing Hindi. Very well. I appreciate that. No one should impose anybody anything. Nobody should impose on anybody. And that's why Honorable Prime Minister talks about Ek Bharat, Shreshta Bharat and encourages every state to have their own language. And that is why Honorable Prime Minister was the first Prime Minister in this country who said higher education, whether it is in engineering, medical, should also happen in regional languages. And that's why I'm happy to say Tamil Nadu also today has the opportunity to have medical education also in Hindi. In Tamil. Oh, sorry, how did I say that? Huh? Okay. That's right. You go on imposing on me, right? Hindi comes out of my mouth. I'm telling in favor of your Tamil, my Tamil. All right? Your Tamil and my Tamil, that means our Tamil. Don't argue on small things. But the larger message is, sir, when I say that the environment was not conducive, in fact, I speak from my lived experience in Tamil Nadu. I speak from my lived experience when even going to learn Hindi aside from my school, I was mocked in the streets. And I was mocked saying, oh, you want to learn Hindi? You live in Tamil Nadu, you eat the salt of this country, and you want to learn Hindi, that North Indian's Bhasha. These are words ringing in my ears. This is my lived experience. And who does that? Because of the political support which has been given in that state. Learning Hindi, learning Sanskrit are treated and perceived as learning some other fellow's language. And the words that they use are people who have come over to this land. Is Tamil Nadu not part of India? Is Tamil Nadu not part of India? So what's the wrong if I learn Hindi? They use the word Banderi. I'm using it in Tamil now. They call us Banderi. Why? And is that not part of the political strategy there? And therefore, I have lived experience of Tamil Nadu's imposing on me not to learn Hindi. Is that not imposition? Is that not imposition on me? As an individual, I learn the language I want. So what's the harm? I'll also quote from Purananuru. I'll quote from Thiruvalluvar. My love for Tamil is as much as I want to learn any other language. So it's all right to say we don't want imposition of Hindi. We don't want to impose Hindi. But why did they impose on me not to learn Hindi? I want to ask this. Honorable Member Gogoi raised a few more things. Thank you very much. Hindi Prachar Sabha was burnt down in Chennai. Who burnt it? Who burnt it? Hindi Prachar Sabha ka aag lagaya gaya Tamil Nadu. Who burnt it? Baat karte hain Hindi. Sir, sorry, I go on with this. So, sir, I'm giving you You are imposing on me, denying my fundamental right to learn whichever language I want to learn. Sir, I'm coming back to this one, sir.
एक मिनट मंत्री जी, मुझे कई माननीय सदस्यों ने कहा, मैं आसन बोलता हूं पर अनऑफिशियली कहा कि हमें कुछ और लैंग्वेज भी सीखना है। ओके। और सबको सब लैंग्वेज आए तो अच्छा है, जितनी ज्यादा लैंग्वेज आए, जितनी भाषा है, अच्छा है। कौन मिसलीड कर रहा है उसको? कोई रिकॉर्ड में नहीं जा रहा, कोई रिकॉर्ड में नहीं जा रहा। आप आपस में डिबेट कर रहे हो पर रिकॉर्ड में कोई नहीं जा रहा। माननीय मंत्री
सर, आई एम गोइंग अहेड सर। Sir, imposition on me as a citizen of this country.
वो अपनी जिंदगी की कहानियां बता रही है, आप सुनो।
That is why I'm glad the MP is talking about it, former minister is talking about it. Tell me one prime minister who's taken Tamil to the UN. Narendra Modi. Tell me one prime minister who quotes Tamil repeatedly because he respects that language. Tell me one prime minister with whom DMK has been in alliance with, where the prime minister quoted Tamil. It is our prime minister who quoted Tamil. That's a respect we give for the sentiment of all of us Tamils. All of us Tamils. You also, sir, if they want that from me, I am also that Tamil who suffered this. 8 crore people have been shown what love the prime minister has for Tamil. Note this quote here.
अभी बंगाल का झगड़ा नहीं है, अभी आप बैठ जाओ।
Sir,
आप बैठ जाओ।
they don't want to hear now on the banking.
आपका प्रदेश नहीं है, ये एक प्रदेश के माननीय सदस्य हैं। आप कहाँ के बीच में? प्लीज बैठो, प्लीज आप बैठिए। आप कहाँ के बीच में? आप बैठिए प्लीज। माननीय मंत्री जी।
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, I did already speak about the Mudra loan, about the rural bank presence. So many of the questions which on this aspect that Honorable Member Gaurav Gogoi had raised, I've sort of addressed. But one particular thing on which many members spoke was on student loans, education loans. I just want to dispel the doubt that many members had in their mind. Sir, total education loan outstanding has increased from 71,000 crore in 2017-18 to 1.04 lakh crores in 23-24. Loans are actually increasing and student loans are increasing. There has been an increase also to 1.3 lakh crore as on October 2024, which is an increase of 17.6% over October 23. So, model loan education scheme has also been launched by Government of India, where loans up to 7.5 lakh is given without requirement of any collateral or any margin money. The repayment period is also 15 long years. Further, the scheme, sir, is also backed by credit guarantee to the extent of 3,500 crores. So, government is giving credit guarantee, and we've given amount allocated for the guarantee purpose is 3,500. Now, recently, government has also brought out Pradhan Mantri Vidya Lakshmi scheme for financial support to meritorious students. I just want to highlight what this meritorious students loan scheme is. Sir, on 6th November 2024, Pradhan Mantri Vidya Lakshmi scheme was approved in the cabinet, and the broad contours of this loan scheme, because on students' loan, many people were rightly concerned. I just want to put before them what this loan scheme is. Up to 7.5 lakh loans will be provided under 75% credit guarantee by Government of India, and that is the National Credit Guarantee Corporation which will support it, for high quality, higher education, quality higher education. Beyond the 7.5 lakh also we are willing to give for students. Now, these loans are given not to very upper middle class or middle class or even higher income class, but these are students with up to 8 lakh annual family income. The scheme will also provide 3% interest subvention for loans up to 10 lakhs. So, interest subvention be, collateral free be, and for families with very low income. And this is in addition to a scheme which is already existing. To the full interest, there is a full interest subvention given to students for up to 4.5 lakh annual family income. So, not 8 lakh, but even lesser gets full interest subvention. So, the scheme is applicable, and it is provided by all scheduled commercial banks, regional rural banks, and cooperative banks also. 3% interest subvention will be paid to 1 lakh eligible students and will be enabled through the central bank digital currency process through Canara Bank. And this facility is expected to be ready by the first week of February, by the second week of February. That's a target date, sir. So, PM Vidya Lakshmi scheme is something on which the poorer students, low income class students will get interest subvention and also collateral free. So, Kalyan Banerjee ji raised a few issues which I just want to clarify. Sir, he was speaking elaborately on the nomination issue. I want to clarify on that, sir. Sir, at the moment, the provisions allow only for the nomination of one person, for the payment of depositors' money, articles kept in safe custody, and also for safety lockers and so on. The proposed amendment, sir, will enable individuals to nominate up to 4 persons for these facilities, with options for either successive or simultaneous nominations. I just want to draw the difference between where it is successive and where it will be simultaneous. That will be the first explanation I want to give Honorable Member Kalyan Banerjee. Sir, depositors will have the option for successive or simultaneous and not and. If I heard honorable member right, successive and. No, it is going to be this or that. For instance, for deposits, option for either successive or simultaneous nominations are available. Whereas for articles kept in safe custody or in safety lockers, only successive nominations will be allowed. Successive nominations ensure that if the first nominee is unavailable, the next nominee in line will become operative, maintaining continuity and reducing complications of legal heirs. Additionally, what it does, 45ZG is inserted to establish the priority of successive nominations, ensuring clear guidelines for activation of subsequent nominees, if one is not there and another. Why at all we need to bring this? This also partly answers Sri N.K. Premchandran's concerns about why we are doing all this. Sir, before I come to the next point on the directors, so the difference between where the successive and where the multiple nominations are applicable are there's a differentiated treatment between deposits and also the security. Sir, Kalyan Banerjee ji and also I think many others, N.K. Premchandran also and Supriya Sule also raised this issue of cooperative bank directors. So the current provisions today specify an 8-year tenure for directors, excluding the chairman and the whole-time director in banking company. The proposed amendment aims to extend the tenure of directors, excluding the chairman and the whole-time director in cooperative banks, to 10 years. What's the rationale, sir? The 97th Amendment to the Constitution specifies that the term of elected members of the board and its office bearers in cooperative societies shall be 5 years from the date of election. This provision is consistent with most cooperative laws, which also stipulate 5-year term of office for directors with no restriction on re-election. The current Banking Regulation Act imposes an 8-year cap on tenure of directors. So that and the constitutional provision are not in alignment. So this creates practical difficulties as directors serving the maximum term under cooperative laws are required to resign in the middle of their second term to comply with the Banking Regulation Act. To resolve this challenge and align it with the Banking Regulation Act, with a constitutional amendment, it is proposed, therefore, to extend the maximum continuous tenure for directors from 8 years to 10 years. This will therefore harmonize it with the current governing practices that exist. So these are the points which I think the three members. At the moment, we have not, but you have given us a thought. I'll have to think about it. I'm not giving an assurance, but I'll certainly have to. Sir, there was also this concern about cyber frauds. There's a lot of activity and initiative being taken by Government of India. I'll just highlight, and I know even on a daily basis there are a lot of calls which come to us saying, I've lost this money because of people fraudulently called me saying they are CBI director, they are so-and-so IB chief or whatever, and claimed their entire details and money has been siphoned off. In many cases, very educated, very, very experienced government and private company top executives are losing money. But at this stage, I can only say the efforts that we are taking, and we are trying to, as much as possible.
एक मिनट माननीय सभासदों, सभा की सहमति हो तो इस विधेयक की समाप्ति तक सभा की कार्रवाई बढ़ा दी जाए। माननीय मंत्री जी।
Sir, so at the moment, sir, Indian Cyber Crime Coordination Center, which we call as I4C, under the Ministry of Home Affairs, serves as a national nodal point for coordinated effort in tackling cyber crimes. Cyber Fraud Mitigation Center operates in collaboration with major banks, payment intermediaries, telecom service providers, law enforcement agencies, and so on. National Cybercrime Helpline 1930 is also operational 24/7 across all states and UTs, so for immediate reporting and redressal. So I've broadly given an indication of kind of steps that Government of India is taking on this, but I understand there is a rampant occurrence and on which we need to have very quick redressal mechanisms. The department and the I4C are all working together to come up with some concrete plans. Sir, member Dr. Rani Sri Kumar had raised this issue, sir, which is very important, so I thought I should specifically say that banks are being, minimum bank savings deposit that people hold are also being charged with penalties and so on. I want to assure member Rani Sri Kumar that none of the basic account holders, 65 crore basic saving bank deposit holders, or the 54 crore Jan Dhan account holders who are absolutely bottom of the rung, none of them are penalized for not maintaining minimum balance. It's a written order. No bank can charge on them. And in fact, these accounts are also given overdraft facility of 10,000, which is extended to all these basic account and Jan Dhan account. And besides that, Jan Dhan account holders are also given 2 lakh rupees as accident insurance, and also a RuPay card with no additional charge for them to use the card. So I just want to assure that the member, we don't charge anything for services for these accounts. So finally, N.K. Premchandran ji, write-off loans. So this is a repeated point of concern which many honorable members speak about, write-off, waive-off. When write-offs happen, banks make a certain provision, and for loans which are defaulted and after a certain level, they are then given to NARCL, National Asset Reconstruction Company, which then finds buyers, processes up that, and buyers, after they come and take it, the due amount to the bank comes back. So this was very nicely legislatively created, and that is why NARCL is actively working to take away these accounts where after a certain amount, which they can take over, and for lesser amount defaults, the usual local redressal mechanisms, DRTs, SURFACs, all of them come into play. No write-off is left without pursuing from the defaulter the total amount that he owes the system. And therefore, there were quite a few members of parliament who spoke from this side, saying how much has been obtained from defaulters, how much has been given back, retributions, bank restitution to the banks have happened. Restitution alone is above 15,000 crores. So this is an ongoing process. It's not going to be just one day. But I repeat this line, write-off is not waive-off. Banks are pursuing them. So with that, sir, I think I mostly addressed many of the members' concerns. I request through you. So there was one important point, sir. I think again it was Dr. Shiv Kumar, Rani Sri Kumar, sorry. She spoke about also members, amalgamation, and many other members also spoke about amalgamation of banks. Many banks have lost their employees. I would like to tell this House, sir, from the time amalgamation happened till today, on account of the amalgamation, not one employee has been removed from the banks. Not one. And therefore, I want to be very clear, no one. Then. No, you may give me. Fine. Fine, but they have not been removed is the point that I want to say. I'll look into what you've given. Sir, this EPS 95, very sensitive topic. Honorable Member Supriya Sule raised it. This scheme is administered by the Ministry of Labour and Employment. And Finance Ministry has no record of any approval or assurance which Sri Arun Jaitley has given on this matter. We don't have any record. So I just want to very clearly put it that the Finance Ministry, through the Minister... That's fine. I take that point, but then no assurance was given by Honorable Finance Minister at that time, sir. Sir, one liner might help a bit more to explain the point that Honorable Member Supriya Sule raised. There are no re-election restriction on the directors. If that helps in, explaining the situation, the prospective aspect is different. But I just want to, I'm sure you're aware of it. Right, okay. That's fine. That's fine. I heard you. Okay, so that's largely the response I wanted to give you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
प्रश्न ये कि ये विधेयक पर विचार किया जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष हुआ। विधेयक पर विचार करने हेतु प्रस्ताव को स्वीकृत किया गया। अब सभा विधेयक पर खंडवार विचार करेगी। श्री सौगत राय, संशोधन संख्या 1। प्रश्न है कि श्री सौगत राय द्वारा प्रस्तुत संशोधन 1 को स्वीकृत किया जाए।
अमेंडमेंट नंबर 1।
प्रश्न है कि श्री सौगत राय द्वारा प्रस्तुत प्रस्ताव संशोधन संख्या 1 को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय ना वालों के पक्ष में संशोधन अस्वीकृत हुआ। श्री N.K. प्रेमचंदन जी, संशोधन संख्या 13।
Amendment number 13, not speaking.
प्रश्न ये कि श्री N.K. प्रेमचंद द्वारा प्रस्तुत संशोधन संख्या 13 को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय ना वालों के पक्ष में संशोधन अस्वीकृत हुआ। प्रश्न है कि खंड 2 विधेयक का अंग बने। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में खंड 2 विधेयक का अंग बना। श्री सौगत राय, संशोधन संख्या 21।
Sir, I move amendment number 21.
प्रश्न है कि श्री सौगत राय द्वारा प्रस्तुत संशोधन संख्या 21 को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय ना वालों के पक्ष में संशोधन अस्वीकृत हुआ। प्रश्न खंड 3 विधेयक का अंग बने। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में खंड 3 विधेयक का अंग बना। श्री N.K. प्रेमचंद जी, संशोधन संख्या 14।
मूविंग।
प्रश्न श्री N.K. प्रेमचंद द्वारा प्रस्तुत संशोधन संख्या 14 को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय ना वालों के पक्ष में संशोधन अस्वीकृत हुआ। श्री सौगत राय जी, संशोधन संख्या 22।
Sir, in page 2, line 33, for 10 years, I substitute 12 years. Sir, in this context, I want to mention that there is a controversy between the Reserve Bank and the government. It seems that the Reserve Bank does not want to increase the repo rate, and the government is saying that reduce the repo rate so that the rate of growth, which has fallen to all-time low, may rise. Sir, I would like the
प्रश्न है कि सौगत राय द्वारा प्रस्तुत संशोधन संख्या 22 को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य के पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें, मेरे विचार में निर्णय ना वालों के पक्ष में, ना वालों के पक्ष में संशोधन स्वीकृत हुआ। प्रश्न है कि खंड 4 विधेयक का अंग बने। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें, मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में खंड 4 विधेयक का अंग बना। श्री NK प्रेमचंद जी, संशोधन संख्या 15।
Sir, I am moving amendment number 15 in which a director of the state central cooperative bank elected to the board of the state cooperative bank, in which he is a member for a maximum period of 6 months. It is a harmless amendment, may be accepted, ma'am.
प्रश्न है कि श्री NK प्रेमचंद द्वारा प्रस्तुत संशोधन संख्या 15 को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें, मेरे विचार में निर्णय ना वालों के पक्ष में, ना वालों के पक्ष में संशोधन स्वीकृत हुआ। प्रश्न खंड 5 विधेयक का अंग बने। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें, मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में खंड 5 विधेयक का अंग बना। श्री सोगत राय, संशोधन संख्या 2।
I move that for page 3, line 2, the last day of the fortnight or if last day of such fortnight, substitute the last working day of the fortnight or if the last working day of such fortnight. सर, इस सिलसिले में एक बात केवल कहना चाहता हूँ, स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट का अमेंडमेंट है। ये स्टेट बैंक है जिसका चेयरमैन एक प्राइवेट कंपनी का कोल माइन खरीदने के लिए ऑस्ट्रेलिया गए थे।
प्रश्न है कि सोगत राय द्वारा प्रस्तुत संशोधन 2 को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें, मेरे विचार में निर्णय ना वालों के पक्ष में, ना वालों के पक्ष में संशोधन स्वीकृत हुआ। प्रश्न है कि खंड 6 विधेयक का अंग बने। जो सदस्य के पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें, मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में खंड 6 विधेयक का अंग बना। श्री NK प्रेमचंद जी, संशोधन संख्या 16।
Not moving, sir.
प्रश्न है कि खंड 7 से 9 विधेयक का अंग बने। जो सदस्य के पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें, मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में खंड 7 से 9 विधेयक का अंग बना। श्री NK प्रेमचंद जी, संशोधन संख्या 17 और 18।
Sir, it's an important amendment I would like to propose. That is, why should you restrict the number of nominees to 4? Because if I want to nominate more than 4, why should it be restricted? Because proportionate allocation of the assets which are in the deposit or which are in the bank is to be distributed among themselves. So why should we restrict the number of nominees to be 4? Let it be unlimited. That is the amendment. Kindly consider the amendment, madam.
प्रश्न है कि श्री NK प्रेमचंदन द्वारा प्रस्तुत संशोधन संख्या 17 और 18 को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें, मेरे विचार में निर्णय ना वालों के पक्ष में, ना वालों के पक्ष में संशोधन अस्वीकृत हुआ। प्रश्न है खंड 10 विधेयक का अंग बने। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें, मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में खंड 10 विधेयक का अंग बना। श्री NK प्रेमचंद जी, संशोधन संख्या 3।
Same amendment, not exceeding for not moving. Already it is negative.
प्रश्न है कि खंड 11 विधेयक का अंग बने। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें, मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में खंड 11 विधेयक का अंग बना। श्री NK प्रेमचंद जी, संशोधन संख्या 4।
Same amendment, not exceeding for not moving.
प्रश्न है कि खंड 12 से 14 विधेयक का अंग बने। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें, मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में खंड 12 से 14 विधेयक का अंग बना। श्री सोगत राय जी, संशोधन संख्या 5, 6, 7।
Sir, for page 5, line 39, for 7 years, substitute 5 years. 6, for 7 consecutive years, substitute 5 consecutive years. And 7, page line 46, page 5, for 7 years, substitute 5 years. I move the amendment.
प्रश्न है कि श्री सौगत राय द्वारा प्रस्तुत संशोधन संख्या 567 को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय ना वालों के पक्ष में, ना वालों के पक्ष में संशोधन अस्वीकृत हुआ। श्री NK प्रेमचंद्रन जी, संशोधन संख्या 8।
Not moving, sir.
श्री सौगत राय जी, संशोधन संख्या 24।
Sir, in page 6, line 3, for shall be entitled, you write, substitute shall not be entitled. Sir, in this context, I want to say that I am not very happy at the investor promotion and education fund. I don't think that it is performing any function, and it makes somebody whose own hard-earned money is there to recover the money.
प्रश्न ये कि सौगत राय द्वारा प्रस्तुत संख्या 24 को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में कहे हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय ना वालों के पक्ष में, ना वालों के पक्ष में संशोधन अस्वीकृत हुआ। प्रश्न है कि खंड 15 और 16 विधेयक का अंग बने। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में खंड 15 और 16 विधेयक का अंग बना। श्री NK प्रेमचंद्र जी, संशोधन संख्या 9।
Sir, I am moving that amendment. It is also very important that corresponding new bank may fix. I would like to substitute Reserve Bank may fix in consultation with the central government, or any higher remuneration the corresponding new bank may fix. This is also good for the legislation. Kindly accept, or in future kindly give an assurance so that I can.
प्रश्न ये कि श्री NK प्रेमचंद्र द्वारा प्रस्तुत संशोधन 9 को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य के पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय ना वालों के पक्ष में, ना वालों के पक्ष में संशोधन अस्वीकृत हुआ। प्रश्न एक खंड 17 विधेयक का अंग बने। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में खंड 17 विधेयक का अंग बना। श्री NK प्रेमचंद्र जी, संशोधन संख्या 10।
Sir, I am not moving 10, 11 and 12 because already it is negative. So I am not moving all these amendments. 10, 11 and 12.
श्री विशाल पाटिल, संशोधन संख्या 19, 20।
सर, मेरे शंका का समाधान हो गया, तो नॉट मूविंग सर।
सौगत राय जी, आपकी भी कोई समस्या का समाधान हुआ? श्री सौगत राय जी, संशोधन संख्या 26 और 27।
want to keep the minister on their toes, which is why I give the amendment, so that they are aware of the parliamentary procedure and give due importance to the voice of the opposition. I am concerned about the banks helping certain
सौगत राय जी, संशोधन संख्या 26, 27।
संशोधन संख्या 26 and 27।
प्रश्न है कि श्री सौगत राय द्वारा